It's a deal of my way about the yo. Wow, we can't get my son. We found out. I need Dene, a Conica, a Danoso. So, everyone like about my chair, you found your way. I got Victor Romeo. I'm a demon soup. I rose, Betty Bear. Victoria Gun. Dora Mami Gali. Musawo. I got them on soup. Susanna Carrier. Come on, preschool. Ali Samson. Romeo en route. Nigeria Association in America. I want to work. I got the name of the Amayo. The name of the Amayo. The name of the Amayo. Saying is he said out. What's over here? Yes, I was up and never got my Jama. Well, like you are in the fire to some of them. I give out to yeah, thank you, Mr. I got the neck of the way I will look at what I need. What to put him over? I want to live about my general. I know. They were not so far past away. You do everywhere. Joseph is come from flight go. Il a sa belle. What is it? No, why you ready back? I did. Don't know, Mama. Don't know, Mobile House. I'm about your pass away. Don't know, you do it. Wow. And you know, on a better comfortable. And you camera. Yeah, no, these are the context about my global. I can. I can't my son. We got if you open it. So that they won't go away. Get up to the game. The one wants to there is a jail and the walls and my passion. Never yelling. I got them. I sent you to her. Hey, Smozy. Orita song. There you go. You know you're a boy. Go out. That's just a bit of say. Rose get your free one. I saw that. I want the ball. Soup. And then Dennis. Hey. Chantata. Feel your car. And I will. I won't go on if you will. I want you as I want. Come on, never send to our news about Papa, oh, no, I can't do it. Oh, you're so dear. Orita one day. Romano, Andrew, so, you know, then my biggest was in my see what poor girl. Nigeria Association in America. Musade yo, apese kalwa wema. Sibosi, ali abati. National President, ile poor. Nawo, wo kalwa lu na suwaja. Newo suwaja yo. Imbanya radio yo. Kanyabiaga. Maya nyabe kanyabiaga.
Yeah.
Nigeria Association. Abugawa na de nyubi we au de nyazala. Kalwa yo. Imbanya radio so brave. National Secretary.
Yeah, that's it.
I said, no way. National 50. And I go. Yeah, but yeah. Omika Kala. National Project. You went. You went on. And I left for Jella. My young Danny, I'm for the my mother, and your but you're going to rubber that. Send on come up your bonyaga. I'm on you can ride and I bring brother to that you went. Kalwana, oh, yeah. I visit Kalabia. Oh, yeah, you know, when I play a mumble, then you will. When I play warranty, I say, I visit Kalusa with my own. So, I had to go. I'm a young river. Into Prince TV. National treasure. Yatra infrastructure. Jambi. And I walk. Somebody yo. Come down. I'll go Pastor, you must say solo.
Okay, that's it.
You first start.
Let's do this music here and do what we're going to do tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Lady, not ladies. Lady and gentlemen, welcome to the Prince Double Show. You guys are now seated in a hot seat.
Thank you, Prince.
Questions, and all that stuff will be thrown out tonight. And we hope that we have a savory and great conversation tonight. Preferring or telling the people of Land what your candidate will do if she's given a second chance. So those of you who watching us in Facebook land, I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight in Facebook land. I got let me do my thing here a little bit before we get on. I got Nyanu, that David Nyanu, and I got Ogawa Door is watching me from that the guy first time watching me. Ogawa Door, let my Benny boy, my picking, but you watching me. When me very would take me out. Ellen Tare, welcome. Ogawa Do, Comfort Soba, James Gaure, Prince Vlay, Prosper Quincy Rude, Felicia Jackson, Muna Vray, Warren Tates, Sophie Loloja, and then I got Bamuzi Bole. I got Ben Menye, or Jojo from all the way. Utah is also here tonight. Patrick Balu from Liberia. Benedict Thomas also from Liberia. No, Benetta Kroman from, I think she's from somewhere. Sia Joey. That's my man Eric Joey, beautiful wife out there. Sia Jones, my man Wally Jones. How you doing, Wally? Wally from Orito Brown. Stephen Gwen. Either my President Poir is also here tonight. Then I got my own beautiful sister here, Antoinette Gallo, Bethany Kusayon Harris. All those who I can see here, you're welcome and thanks for joining and tuning in to the Prince Double Show. The head is shining, so Francis Clark. Should I say sister-in-law or former sister-in-law?
Whatever you want to say, princess.
Whatever you want to say, please.
You continue to remain a good old boo.
Y'all
How
put
you
up with
doing,
people.
man? So I'll give you 1 minute or 2 minutes to introduce yourself, and then we're just going to jump straight to the interview here. Mr. Collins will join us. He just called me in and said he's running late, about 10 minutes late. He's going to join us, and I'm going to bring him on here, and we're going to have this beautiful and wonderful conversation here tonight. So I'm going to start with a lady, and I'm going to go to Peter Darcy, and then I'll go to the gentleman with the glasses on the back side there with the glasses on there. Mr. Collins will join us pretty
Oh, it's
soon.
not my.
Huh?
Oh my God.
What? You
Oh, it's not
okay?
my internet I use. Yeah, I'm fine. I just got to break it in. That's why.
Yeah, when you
You
get
can.
that thing in your ear, it can interfere.
You want me to take it out? Am I okay?
Let me move the thing so they can see your face. I now move that my hat, bend it down hot. So let me start with you now. You do the introduction right there.
Okay. Good evening to everybody. Good evening, Prince. Thank you very much. Thank, thank you for bringing us on your show tonight. Good evening to my dear brothers, Mr. VK, the secretary of our great campaign, and Mr. Peter Dixie, the mobilization chairman of the Team Port campaign. I want to say good evening to all our sympathizers, our supporters, and even those that don't support us. We want to say thank you for coming tonight. My name is Frances Clark. Frances Sumner Clark. I am the president, the national president of United Sapo Association in the Americas. But tonight, I'm here not as just the United Sapo Association president, but as a woman, a crown woman. My mother here from Queenstown, Charlie Queenstown, in Grand Juda County. That's where my mother comes from, if you don't know me. My father came from Sanopo, my mother from Great Juda. So Great Juda is where I've spent most of my life. People that knew me, they knew me from Great Juda. So anything concerning Great Juda is really concerning to me. And that's why I'm here tonight to make the case why indeed Mana Ide Tayanpo that I have known for many years why does she deserve our second term in the Judea community. Thank you, Prince.
Thank you. Let's go to Mr. Collins. We were supposed to go to Peter Darcy, but then the former national president is here. So Peter, you just a local guy. Let's go to the national.
Wow. No problem.
Peter,
Yeah, thanks.
I'm a
Yeah,
former president now, so
yeah.
you
Prince, thanks
understand.
for having me. I want to say hi to the distinguished lady and my two brothers on the line, Peter and VK. I'm Tillman Collins, former national president of the Grand Jury Association, and a staunch supporter of Madam Paul, Madam President, who we feel is doing a very good job. And we want to encourage Grenadians to support her so that she can complete her task. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter Darcy.
Well, good evening to our family out there. Sitting on the hot seat tonight, it will be very, very interesting. Once again, my name is Peter Dazi, former president of Kentucky and Tennessee chapter, founder of that great chapter, Kentucky and Tennessee. Mr. Double, I want to say thank you very much for hosting us on this show. And indeed, one of our most powerful young lady, Madam Clark. And then we have our Honorable Secretary Baliku. We also look forward to the godfather of GGAA, President Tillman Collins. Tonight, we'll bring you good news. We'll bring you news about why we should re-elect President Poor for a second term, the winning team. Thank you.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you, and I want to say good evening to our people out there listening to us tonight, and members of the Port campaign. Also, good evening to President Tillman Collins, one of the greatest presidents in the history of GGAA, and Madam Clark, who's the very great president of the USAA, and Prince, your own founding president of your Kentucky, Tennessee chapter, my dear brother Peter Dassey. I think tonight, we are here to discuss the issues, and we're here to bring you the information about the POT campaign. We're here to be clear and concise in why EDF is the best choice to continue as president of GGAA. I'm happy to be on the show. I'm excited to be here. The Prince Dawar Show, they call him Dawar CNN. So I'm always happy to be in the hot seat. So thank you for having us on the show.
You didn't call your name.
Valiku Cabo. I was the former president of the Librarian Association of Iowa.
Thank you. I thought I put an H there. It would be, I turn it around, it would be Vlad. And put an H to the end. So thank you guys for coming on here and to tell your people tonight why you think that we should elect Idipuai for the second term. So the question goes to all of you. Why do you guys think Grand Gideons should give Idipuai the second term? When we come here in May and then we do our constitution, if it is adopted here, it might go 3 years, because that's what the changes say, from 2 to 3. So why do you think Grand Gideons should re-elect Edith Poir? Mr. Collins, Madam Clark, Mr. Dassey, Mr. Cabo,
Cabo, yeah.
Cabo, you tell us why we should elect Edith Poir, re-elect Edith Poir.
So let me,
I will go first.
Okay, madam, you can go first.
Okay.
Yeah, go first.
So in the year 20...
1 minute before you go, my sister, Antonia Garrison, they left from my head. I'm looking at eyeball. So I can't put my heart on my Let me put my heart on. I don't want to get my sister to wear glasses. Go ahead.
So interesting.
Thank you, Prince. Thank you very much for that question. So in the year 2022, we were in North Dakota for USAA National Convention. Yeah. And during my annual message, I was the first at the time Mana Idepoa was contemplating. At that time, many people never even knew that she wanted to get in the race to become president of GGAA. And during my annual message, I was the first to endorse Mana Idepoa, if you're listening to my speech, as the next president of GGAA. And since that time, my support for her never wavered. And when you support somebody, you expect them to do the best. And when you see them do the best, and when we went to Iowa, many people questioned some of us why we think Idepoa should be the next president. And we said because we work with her, we know her capability. She's a woman with vision. She's somebody that loves to implement. In a nursing cycle, you say you have to plan, then you implement. And that's why today when I listen to many critics that say, oh, why has she not done anything yet? Because sometimes maybe, we as nurses, maybe we follow the cycle of nursing, which is planning, then implementing, then you evaluate what you are planning. So for the past years, I have seen Manapur and her team, they have done extremely well. When you took over the organization that was so fractured, that was so, that you have to bring it to the level that you want the people to know that indeed you can lead, and you are leading by example. And through her leadership for the past years, her first convention to North Dakota, you saw it. She was the first to raise money for Queen Contest, over $30,000. So how, what more can you say about leadership? Leadership is what can you do? So we think we are here tonight to make the case that if she can do it in 2 years to raise the kind of money that we have today in our account with transparency, that over the past 2, 3 years, nobody have ever seen the $1 missing out of the account. Accountability, transparency, and she reached across the aisle for peace. Then why can't you give her a chance to complete what she has started? So that's why we are here tonight, to make that case to our fellow Grenadians that indeed the poor Yawla team are the best team for Kentucky. I will give my fellow Pellandis chance to go ahead.
Thank you, Madam.
Yeah.
Madam
So Prince,
Mm-hmm.
we gotta look at the situation that we are faced with now. 2 years ago, there were leaders in the community that were not so optimistic about the forward march for Green Gida Association. Today, without even dying their numbers, they will come and say they like the direction that the association is going. Let me just give you one example that I saw today. The former president of the Maryland DC chapter, one of the respected
I said, yeah.
we have, I say, yeah. These are people that put in the time, they put in the effort, and they saw where Grand Jida was in the past. But they got very discouraged on the forward march of the organization. So they started observing, even though he's very active here in our local association, he and his wife, but looking at the national scope of the Grand Jida Association and looking at where Madam Edith Paul got it from, he came out and wrote a statement on his own without anybody dying his number. This is a respected guy here. I live in Maryland. He's just one example of the many people that seeing the direction of the organization. So they wanted to continue. They want to make sure that what she started, we built this entity. He spoke about unity. I was surprised, other guys came on the show and they were talking about how they were not reaching out to people. But this is a man who wants to see the organization together, who knew that this organization was together. So to answer your question here, if you have an entity like the Grand Jida Association, especially a big entity like the Grand Jida Association, that is moving forward with good leadership, with good results, accountability, and you see the number of people that are signing up, not only because of elections. We have had election here, and the people that are signing on are never signed up. Because they just said, it was useless going to elections, the organization will not go in the right direction. But now they're very optimistic about what they see. So why change it? Why not encourage this leadership to continue the work? This is the reason why we decided to come here to talk to people. And, there's hope and there's light at the end of this turnout that we have Green Jida Association coming back to where it used to be. I'm not trying to discredit other leaders in the past, but all of us know the history of the Green Jida Association, where we came from, and how the slow pits were going on. Now we can see chapters coming back. We can see re-registration or other chapters. And I think it's a good thing. If you have a good thing, why change it?
Okay. Let's hear from Mr. Darcy.
Well, once again, this is Peter Darcy again. Believing in Madame Poor and the team is very, very important. This president been working for this organization for more than 20 years. And I believe the little girl that was just 1 year old, today she's 20 years old, hearing about Madame Poor, gives her courage, give her hope, give her strength to believe that women can lead. In the past, it was all about men. But looking at the Iron Lady, Madame Poor, her decency, the way she carried herself. When I first met President Collins, he said, Peter, please, we know you have been married to a Grand Jida. We need you on board. And from that day, I fell in love with their leadership. When President Collins was turning over his administration, he left more than $70,000. He didn't do it alone. Make no mistake. He did it alongside with his vice president. We are talking about President Poor. This lady is so honest. She believed in a system. So when our Peter does it sit back and hear people say the president don't reach out, the president is unfit to be a leader, Grangidians, tonight we will be bringing you good news. We will be bringing you news about why we think Madam Poor and her team should be given a second term.
Okay. Let's hear from VK.
Oh yeah. The thing I tell people is I like to practicalize things, but let me say a few things about Edith. I think what people don't understand is when people are compassionate about what they do, they become good leaders. If you hear and see how compassionate Edith is about GGAA and what she wants to do, and that's why she always get quality people around her. Edith have dignified this organization in a way that it lost some years ago. And when you see that, you know that they're almost an honest leader. But please, let me take it to a practicality standpoint. Okay, in these elections, we have two candidates. If I were never going to put name and I give you two people, two pieces of paper, I say, President candidate A. Candidate A has had the history of good leadership, have had the history of honesty, have had the history of transparency. She took organization from nowhere, pay off debts, have money in the bank account. People can verify the information. This candidate has been in leadership before. It's not her first time around. And that candidate B, nobody know what leadership that person has been in. They took a leadership of 10 people that has no hay and tea. They can't show anything that they have done in the past. And I say, which candidate you want to be a president? I'm sure you'll choose candidate A, without a doubt. There's no name to two of them, but if you put the qualities of the candidate aside, without names, 10 out of 10 times, everybody in the GGA will pick candidate A, and candidate A is Edith. So, just if we take the names away from people and just put the qualifications down, Edith is qualified. And if we add Edith's name to it, it's a no-brainer that she is the leader. She is qualified to hold this position. Her first 2 years have demonstrated her ability to lead. She have went across the aisle and brought everybody together. She continues to work to bring people together. So tonight we are here to tell people, look, here's a qualified candidate that have led GGAA, that is willing to continue to lead GGAA. And at the end of the day, again, as I said, if you put the two candidates aside, you take their names away, and you put that qualification aside, 10 times out of 10 times, everybody in GGA will pick Edith.
Thank you very much for that, gentlemen and lady. Up there, I heard you talk about peace, and she can put people together, and she can do this. But there are women out there from her credit that she don't mean these peaceful talks. She's not there for genuine peace. Typical example from the president of the Grand Jury Association, the former president, your successor, Mr. Collins. He made a post, and this is the post from Guantanamo. It said any Grangidian who wants genuine peace for our entire Grangidia, our Judea diaspora community should say no to Madam to Edith Poor. What will you say about this? He believed that Edith Poor don't have that peace building in her blood. It's not in her DNA.
So, Prince, let me just say here that Mr. Guillen is my friend. We've been friends before we came to the United States. All right? And Prince, we all live in Jalatan. Besides that, he's one of those that encouraged me and Gabriel Faye in Minnesota to even start thinking about joining the Grand Jury Association. So it started a long time. But I just want to make references. When I left, Mr. Guillen took over the organization. When he left, he brought about rift and division, all right? So right after him, Mr. Mayer took over the organization. The first thing Mr. Mayer did, and the same thing he preaching and what he was preaching, he wanted for people to sit with him so that they can have a discussion. Mayer did that. It led to nothing. Because I don't know what is it that he's looking for in leaders. Right after Mayor left, Mr. Yubote took over the organization. Mr. Yubote set up a committee. One of the committee was headed by Gisler, former ULA president. So they discussed about peace, the same peace he's advocating today. It ended nowhere because he knows in his heart what he wants. It's about him, and it's not about Grand Jury Association getting together. So when Yubote left, either took over, either never only set up committees, either went to their functions, either established doing her program, allowing the leadership to be treated like the same way she was treated. Today, she's running for re-election. He stayed on advocating for the same thing. So I think, look,
but he believes that she never done enough to unite the people.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what he considered enough.
He mentioned, I'll give you the chance. He mentioned Menye in Philadelphia. He mentioned Yubote in Philadelphia. He even mentioned Rense right there. I think you too, and he Fred. And even if it's there, either cannot sit with y'all to say, look, y'all, let's take a photo, that tea, coffee, where the picture will go all around to your supporters to come together. Grand Jury as one. He did not doing it.
Yeah, and Prince, let me say this. Grand Jury Association and the Grand Jury here and the plight of this organization is not about me. It should not be about Fred. It should be about our citizens. It should be about the welfare of our county and what happens to our people. If he tries to reduce Grand Jury Association to be about him, you can even bring Jesus Christ to be president of the Grand Jury Association. It will not work because the same posting he put it up, he's going to put it up. I think what we should focus on is where we go from here. And he will always be welcome. I can tell you this and I can guarantee you this. If Mr. William is ready to come back to the organization with a clean heart and it's not about him, I don't think either going to turn her back because she has done so much. I get named 4 presidents. The established committee took up the time, and it's not easy. You have people like Gisler. Gisler is very experienced. You were former president of ULA. He had a committee. What happened to it today? And the last time I was on the show with him, I will not tell you what I've done behind the scene with him. I've traveled to Philadelphia. I've traveled to Delaware just to meet him one-on-one to strategize on how he can come back to his organization, help him do that. All those things, once it's not personally about him, you're not going to accept it. So for us to take up the time of Green Gideons and this wonderful organization and focusing on Fred will be wasting so much time. I have all due respect for him, but I think we should focus on the forward march of this organization and make it better.
Yeah, and Prince, let me come in 1 second, please. The thing, look, let's look at, I think we got to look at, what the issues are with the former president. When you say either fermented the GGA issue, then it begs to ask the question, did either write the checks that you were putting on your show when he was president of GGA? Either they didn't do that. What either asked for again in her DNA was in her DNA is accountability. She asked them, if you are collecting money, why are you not accountable to GGA, and why is the money not in GGA account? The checks that will be written, Jeremiah Shah was on your show, or you show the checks. It wasn't Edith who did that, okay? And Edith have shown since she became president to work. I was at Edith inauguration. The GGAD leave account was there. She had look, when people want peace, they open up, okay? They open avenues for conversation, and the conversation is a 3-way, 4-way street. So what Edith have done in her last 2 years, she has opened the avenue for conversations to happen. And when people are genuine about conversations to happen, they will come to the table with no pre or conceived conditions. The problem with President Goya is he comes to the table with a preconceived condition, and if those conditions are not met, then he still has a problem that he's going to have. So I think Mr. Guy needs to go in and re-examine.
Saying that Edith will open the way for peace talk or revenue or whatever.
Let me come in, please.
1 minute, she can open the way and she cannot yet continue. She just stop it right in the middle.
No, but if the president open his way and you come with a preconceived condition, that means what happens to you is you come to the table not understanding that, look, guys, we want to come and consider a peaceful solution to this problem. You come to the table saying the only way peace can happen except we do it like this. That's how that peaceful negotiation works. So you gotta go examine yourself. You gotta come to the table and say, look, if this president is open the avenue, if she open her arms and say, guys, y'all come in, as brothers and sisters, let's resolve this issue very practically and amicably. Then you also come to the table with that resolve and say, look, as a brother to you, as a former leader of this organization, let's resolve this issue with everybody involved. And I think you can move the organization forward. And even today, GGAT members, I enjoy everything in GGAA. So I don't understand his real problem.
Let's hear from Darcy.
Yes, sir. Prince Luke. I mean, few days ago, should we get a later? Few days ago, on your own show, we had President Guer on the same show, and with our sister Mercy Gallo on the same show, he said, "No, Mercy, you didn't say anything." This man got so much he can keep in heart and hold things at heart. When he lost the election a few years ago, what he did, he formed the GGAD that broke this organization apart. But today, true Grangidians are able to see and know where they came from. They know that there's a place called home. The Grangidia Association in the Americas is our home, regardless of all other organizations we have around. I personally reached out to President Guer. The day I was appointed as a mobilization chairperson, the first person that dialed his number was President Fred, because I asked the president, Madam President, is it okay to reach out to these people? She said, Peter, this is what I expected you to do, to reach out to the past leaders first on your day one of your assignment. And I reached out to Fred. His answer to me were, the president can call people, but you just told Grangidians on the same show that y'all live. The president said next door neighbor. How can somebody be your next door neighbor? You're not able to go and knock on the door and say, Madam President, I need to have a word with you as a woman or as my daughter.
So why the president could not do that? She's the president. A visit for the president would bring that.
The visit for the president would bring that. That's a good question you're asking down there. But Fred was a former president. So it's okay.
She is the current president now. Why she can't take that lead?
You could take that lead. Anybody could take that seat.
You know what? That picture was sent to the wall, Mr. Collins. You got Collins here. The picture was also sent to the world. You got Menye, you got Yubote, you got Friend, you got Ida in the middle.
If somebody don't want to see you,
check the wall.
If somebody don't want to see you,
naturally, that picture is a nice picture, but when the picture does not come with a level of genuine reconciliation that it needs, it will just be a photo op. The thing about most people in our community is we like to put band-aid on things that need to be worked on. Photo ops are good, but general reconciliation is what you need. So the picture will look nice, quite frankly. But
what do you think? What do you think?
Is that picture going to be a genuine picture that leads to reconciliation? I don't know that. So Fred and going to go and re-examine themselves.
So what do you think? Don't you think it would be beautiful?
What?
So Prince.
Yeah. So you married Clark Meyer over there. You're a strong supporter of Fred. And this is what he said to the candidate that you supporting now, that the candidate does not have that peace in her DNA. She don't have how to bring genuine peace. What's your take? You been knowing either. What's your take? And you been knowing Fred too. I saw you fighting for Fred.
I don't know why.
I saw you 2017, Fred 2016.
So
why was Fred
so Prince, I don't know why you call strong supporter. I don't know why you call strong supporter, but let me say something to you. I am a woman of principles. And sometimes when you try to follow principles, people take it to be like a support for somebody. For me, Grand Judea County is bigger than anybody. Okay? And so let me, 2017, some of us were trying to speak to issues that will bring unity within the community. However, things went the way it went. But we put the county above individual. Okay, the county is more important to me. That's why I went to Cleveland and cast my vote for President Djibouti at the time. You took my picture. You took my picture. But let me talk you about peace. Peace is a two-way street. It's like husband and wife in a house. Huh? Let me be practical tonight. Husband and wife in a house. If even the husband is ready for peace and the wife is not ready for peace, there will be no peace. If the wife is ready for peace and the husband is not ready for peace, there will be no peace. Either poor, they not just set up a committee but she invited GGAD national president to her inauguration.
That's correct.
We walk Levi in with music. We dance behind Levi Kind in Iowa. We celebrated him as though he was the national president. When it was time for Levi Kind inauguration, Idepoa together with some of us, we went there and carried Idepoa there. And she attended our convention. And what was her statement that night? She said, I am the mother and I want my children to come home.
That's
That
right.
was her exact statement that night in our hall. She said, I'm the mother and I came here tonight to bring my children home. What more do you want this woman to do?
You think she brought them home? Because on the list, I got Philadelphia list, PA list, Fred Graham is there.
But that's what I just said.
Is on that list. So what do you think? Fred is speaking from two sides of his mouth on these blue.
She didn't bring that home because, like Fred Graham said today, say no to Idepoa. And I always say to Fred Graham, if you want peace in Grand Judea community, say no to Fred Graham.
I think at the end of the day, look,
we need to flip that instead of saying say no to Idepoa.
If you want peace in Grand Judea community, say no to Fred Graham.
Prince,
look at this. Fred Graham.
Guys, I think we need to
because he's not ready for peace. He's not ready for peace.
Let us make progress.
He wrote a post that says say no to Idepoa, and I say no to Fred Graham.
Yeah, let's make progress.
Because we want peace in our community.
This question is for Mr. Collins. And then I'm going to play a little video. Collins been around for a long time, former president. He's the one of the founding members of the Minneapolis, Minnesota chapter, Iowa, Minnesota at that time. Then he moved. Then he served the whole national. He wrote the Constitution Amendment, the whole GGAA National Constitution. He was on that committee. I think he served as secretary on that committee, Mr. President. I've done.
Yeah, Okay,
Honor Guerrero. And I will go back to a tape and play that tape, and I would want you to speak on that tape. The tape that was made by our brother from Minneapolis, the president of Minneapolis, Floyd George, about national presidents and local presidents. So I want to play that tape, and I want you to please speak on that tape. Please, it will be a 30-second tape. It's not a long tape. It's not a long tape. It's just a little tape. And then we want to dispel these rumors and all that stuff, because we want Grangians to understand our leaders. If you want to lead the local chapters and then go to the national level, the understanding must be there. Because I also served as a chapter president. Peter Darcy then left, and then I took over. So I know, but I want you to listen to the tape.
National president do go. It is for members. That's membership meeting. If I'm going into these meetings, I got no power. I'm just a common man going to a meeting. Just a common man. Like every other person, every other members. I have no jurisdiction over that meeting. I know I have no part to play in that meeting. I just go there and listen. And if I have an input, I give my input. But it's so sad. It's sad that, because of power, anyone can go to any length and think, they can put you in the muddy water. But mind you, maybe you guys deal with people that couldn't understand, the bylaws of this organization or never read the bylaws of this organization. But some of us, we took our time. We read it. The only people that are obligated to go to meeting is the board.
Mhm.
And the board have to have a meeting, I think, 4 times or 3 times a year. There is nothing that said local presidents should attend meetings. It is up to us. So if you out there as a president or Grand Jury Association chapter, and any administration, be it the administration of Madam Poor or any other administration that is coming after Madam Poor, if the Constitution is not amended, there is no amendment within that Constitution that says or speculates that you should go to meeting. You are obligated to go to meeting.
So, Mr. President, you wrote the Constitution that we use now, the current Constitution. It's kind of amended in Georgia, but it's not adopted yet. So we still use the current one that you wrote. You were secretary on it. Can you speak to what Flo said? Is he right?
Prince Lord, thank you. What's astonishing to me is the fact that Flo is saying that he read the Constitution. I don't know what part of the Constitution he read. And he's saying that chapter presidents are not obligated to go to meetings when a national president calls. Those are very misleading information that he's giving. So let me just give you instances here. The first thing before a chapter becomes part of this union, they have to go through process. And the process they go through, they have to have a constitution that is in line with the national constitution.
Mm-hmm.
And they submit those things to the board and the national administration. And in the constitution, it's clear the national president runs the administrative aspect, day-to-day aspect of this organization. And once you send in an application and you are accepted as a chapter, it means that you work under the umbrella of the national leadership. So if the national president is calling a meeting, which is in the constitution, she's the only person that can call a meeting. If you're chapter president and she invites you to a meeting, you will go to the meeting. You are subject to the national president. We're not running a federal system here. Even if we're running a federal system, like we have in the United States, governors are also very respectful of the national president, of the president of the United States. Despite the fact they have their own constitution, they got their own things that they do there. So here's the problem. You see, most of these guys, they go around having live shows. They read the constitution and they don't understand what they're reading, and they come up and say these kind of things, misleading the entire membership of the Grand Jury Association. What we used to do in the past, we used to have leadership meetings, and every administration did it. They have a committee that is set up on a national level, and that committee is chair on education and training. And the responsibility of that committee is to make sure they educate all of us, all members of the association, most especially people that intend to be leaders tomorrow and those that are leaders. And the first thing they do is to review the Constitution and interpret what the Constitution means. So when you run to be chapter president, you understand what your obligations are. You're not just come up and make the kind of statements that he just made. If the national president calls a meeting, everybody will go there. I mean, there are two guys here that serve as chapter president, you, Prince, and Peter Darcy. When I was president for 4 years, on a monthly basis, we used to have meetings. All the chapter presidents used to be present. We send in citation, they come to the meeting, we discuss with them and give them updates on what we do, and they go and tell the chapter members. So what he's saying that the only people that are supposed to go to meeting are board members. So those are misleading things. So unfortunately, these guys don't understand the Constitution, but they go around masquerading to the presidents. I hope and I pray that if this leadership is giving a second term, they should put together, they should reinforce the training of most of our chapter leaders, so they understand the organic laws, our Constitution, so we can have all the kind of mistake and misinformation that these guys are disseminating. He's dead wrong. And I hope people don't listen to him because he don't even know what he's saying.
He's wrong, according to Mr. Collins, that when the president, because I was president before for this chapter here for 2 years. Fred Grant, I think your time, then Fred came. So I served on both of you and Fred. And we had meetings. I would get these text messages, and then I'll go to this meeting and tell the people what's going up on the national level. Fred Town. I've been to a lot of meetings, and then the national. And then we had meetings among ourselves. So I don't know where the brother spoke from.
Yes, Prince.
Go
Prince,
ahead.
quickly before my colleagues come in. You know, when I listen to Floyd George, I know in that video he called my name in that video. You know, when I listened to him, I was so shocked because I served as a chapter president for 2 terms before I went on the national. Okay,
Which chapter?
and Delaware Valley chapter.
Okay.
I was president for Delaware Valley chapter USAA. Now GGAA. But we all do the same thing. Every chapter president is required to attend a national meeting that is called by your national president. You are not in isolation. The
Well,
national president.
Floyd is saying there is nothing in the law that says it.
Okay,
People
so
do it,
as
but there is nothing in the Constitution. That's what he's saying in that tape.
okay, so let me say,
Because he said until it can be amended, the Constitution can be amended. He talks about the Constitution, Mr. Collins.
Yeah,
so
but you see, madam, even cutting you off.
okay.
We can't have everything in the Constitution.
Thank you.
We cannot. So they got things that cover up those things. The national president runs the administrative operation of the GGAA. And going to meetings and she calling meetings, those are administrative things that she's doing.
Exactly.
So they're not going to write line by line, or you know, on Tuesday you got to be going doing this. What about the Minnesota chapter that told you that you're supposed to pay $120 when you're going for convention?
I think, Prince, the thing is, again, you know, reading sometimes, and there's an issue, reading and comprehending becomes.
So when they say it is not in the Constitution, then they've been doing it and it becomes precedent then.
Well, now that it's precedent, Prince, some things in your Constitution are implied. Okay, like when you want to make a chapter and you go in and do your registration, that's an implication that you have agreed that anybody who wins the
abide by the rules of
election is to follow those rules. It's implied. So when the Constitution says the president is the person who can call meetings and runs the day-to-day administration, that's also implied that when she called meeting, you have agreed by virtue of taking over that leadership and you being part of the association, you have agreed to attend those meetings. Again, you know, people, everything when I be written in black and white, you know, sometimes reading and comprehending becomes an issue, but if you read something, there must be a level of comprehension to what you're reading. So I think what people say is not in the Constitution, is it implied? When something's not in the Constitution, you got to find out if it's implied. And when it's implied in the Constitution, then you know you got to follow it.
All right, let the sister end.
So as a chapter president, if you don't attend meeting, what do you tell your members in your chapter? When the national is doing anything and you are not aware, because you there as a chapter president, whatever the national is doing is for you to like take it to your chapter, for you to be for your chapter to be informed, to be up to date. So as a chapter president, you don't attend meeting, but then when time comes, you want to impose on the members what for them to do. So I found that difficult when he says, I'm not forced to go to meeting and whatever. Now I see why Minnesota chapter was dead. Because they never even knew what the national president was doing. Because the chapter president is saying he's not required to go to meeting. So I don't know how is he operating his chapter. Is he not on a GGAA? Is he Minnesota chapter is chapter by itself? No. The national president is the umbrella of all the chapters. And you as a chapter president, you should answer to the national president. I'm sorry. That's how it works.
Okay.
Please look at this thing. Let's look at this thing very clear. A few days ago, we had the president himself was on the line, Fred. He said that he don't believe in the administration, so he don't want to carry a case or his issue to the national administration.
Oh, Floyd?
Yes.
So he said.
Yes. He said that.
But you are not Colonel Gaddafi to remain in power for the rest of your life.
No.
He said he don't want to be president every time. He's running around. I don't want to be president. You come for your team. You come for your team. Yo. Lord have mercy. This organization is moving forward. The people of Minnesota want to be part of the train that moves forward. They don't want to sit back and wait for election before they pay. Look at the high cost. Look at what we are going through right now. $120 plus for registration per person in this time of economic. Because he didn't go, he chose not to attend anything that the national administration is calling him about that led him to this. So I don't want our listener out there to have sympathy on our brother Fred. He brought it to himself. If you attend some of these meetings,
my name is Floyd. My name is Floyd, not Fred.
I said Floyd. Though. Fred.
When you said Fred, I said, but Fred didn't say those things.
No, I said Fred. Though.
Floyd. It's not George Floyd. It's Floyd George.
Floyd George.
Yeah, it's not George Floyd.
George Floyd is the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. When George Floyd went down and he said Minnesota, everybody was calling the brother.
He shouldn't be putting up a different guy. No, Prince. He shouldn't be putting up muscle. The people of Minnesota needs to be liberated. They want to be part of the train. This organization, under the leadership of President Poor, is moving forward. The train is moving forward. This is not a time to look back.
Mr. Collins, when you were there, when your leadership, you did a lot of things back home. Then your predecessor, your predecessors, your successors came. And then they continue here like a Scottish ship. Why are we not seeing there any leadership of Madam Poor? She keeping the money in the bank. So what critics said.
No, Prince and those that are listening, one of the hardest things to do when you are leader of the Grange Association is to entrust people in Liberia to just undertake a project without really doing good planning. I think our sister spoke about planning. The very same people that are telling you the money in the bank, you're not using it, you're not doing anything with it. When you send it and you say, oh, let's do this down there, you paying people school fees and you don't have the real, you don't establish a process. In the end, they will blame you. And I've been around a long time to know that.
Yeah.
Some of those that benefited from Grange Scholarship under William Yano were in Liberia. The guy that was running the affairs of the scholarship was there. They did it through somebody. And because they did it through somebody, a lot of people here in the United States found out that it was not done right. But there were people that benefited from it. Even my brother Fred, he established an office, like he said, our little brother Kitty gave him an office, around the gas station and students that he gave, funding store and all that. And they just sent a record to him. It's between those guys that did it and the records, and we saw people signing for money, whether they were in school or not. We don't know. But once you can show your ID card that you're attending the University of Liberia, you can sign for money. I can have an ID card and I drop out of school. I will still come and sign for money. So I'm making these references to let you know that it's good to plan. At least our money is safe, and either is in the process of planning. Disbursing money just because you want people to see that you're doing it.
For 2 years, Ide could not plan. For 2 years, she could not plan.
Ide have done stuff in Liberia. She has done things back home. She was able to get good details from the community college, and she helped the nursing program. And you know that. Okay? She was able to set up a financial system. Yeah, you don't do those things in 1 week. You don't do it in 2-3 months. That you can just call and you will find out. You pay money, it goes there. That's a process. It takes time. Even today, if she says she was not running, you have a system that the entire association going to benefit from. So we shouldn't be in a hurry to say, I heard people and I get surprised. the building that we got in Zaitan, that we built there, and the teacher's quarter. When we put that, before we could put that building, we wanted to put 2 of them. The board approved that we do about 3 of them. We started with 2. We wanted to do the one in Sletan and in Zaitan. The reason why we got that one in Zaitan is because the elders, headed by the late Talu, Maria Talu's father, took the initiative and called people like former Superintendent Gali. I'm not talking about Johnny Gali, I'm talking about Washington Gali. Mm-hmm. Nathan Parr, and all these people from Zaitan were willing to be in the forefront of that project, working with those guys that were there. That's how we had them to do it, and were able to complete it. And they were very honest, and they were transparent, and they did it. So today, we're not answering questions to anybody. You go there, you will see the building there, by the school and everything. It's difficult. So I think I support the idea that our money is secure. We should do good planning. We should identify what we're going to do, and then before we can be able to put money into it.
Prince, let me
So when somebody comes and say, "Oh, why you're not using the money down there? The money is not there to." Fred did the same thing. He said he's not saving no money here. When he came, we left $81,000 cash. In less than 12 months, we had no money there. And today we're going around saying that he never used the money wisely because the planning, in my opinion, was not properly planned. I'm not saying that he used the money, but he spent the money. So I don't think we should advocate for that now. We should be happy that our money is secure. We have a system, and Idepo is not going to take the money and use it for herself. If she don't use the money when she's leaving, the money will be there for whoever takes over the organization.
Be there.
Look, as a successful businessman in the US, money is a critical thing. How do you spend money? That's a question we should ask ourselves. You spend money by planning towards things that will make sense. Now, look at the leadership of President Paul. Wasteful spending is her number one thing that she kick against. Even within the campaign that we are running right now. Before a single penny is even spent, you got to give her details. So if those details are not met, Mr. Valiku, as a campaign secretary, you're wasting your time. You'll go back to the drawing board. Grangeanians want to know how their money is spent. We are in a time and a season where things are very hard. That is why the organization fall apart. People were saying all kinds of things. Things like what?
Go ahead.
We don't know where our money is going. People be eating our money. But here it comes. We'll bring you a way forward. President Paul, Team Port, a way forward. We have your money. We have kept your money. We will not spend your money unnecessarily. No more wasteful spending. The people of Grangeda County want to see development. President, let me tell you something. What we are doing today, we are building leaders for Liberia. We are not there to play. That is why our campaign said we are moving forward. We want to make sure we hold the high office in the Republic of Liberia. Sooner or later, the presidencies of the Republic of Liberia will come from Grangeda County. We are preparing men and women for this cause. Wasteful spending will not happen under the leadership of Madam Poor.
Prince, let me say something real quick.
Wasteful spending will not happen under the leadership.
Prince, let me say something. A lot of the people that's criticizing the president, when they say, "Oh, they're keeping our money and our money is in the account," their major problem is they have no relationship with transparency and accountability. They have zero relationship with transparency and accountability. The second thing is one of the reasons why our organizations, including GGA, when president leave, that project fail or the project don't continue. Is most of those presidents, they don't do a proper planning and some level of transparency and sustainable development for that project, Prince. When you have a project, you gotta understand how will you sustain that project, because you will understand that I'm president for 2 years or maybe a total of 4 years, I will not be there. But how will this project be sustained over time? And the way projects are sustained over time is when you put in systems that work. So another leader can come in and plug into that system. Madam Poor, let's understand, Prince, Madam Poor, first year she had no money. She came with a deficit. Okay?
No. You both say he left almost 12 grand in the account.
Yeah, but Prince, let me give you my example. We are coming from a financial background. Prince, if me and you went to your bank account, took $25,000 from there, and I gave you $12,000 from the bank account, you get money or you stay broke? Let me protect cover what we're saying.
Yeah.
You owe $25,000, you get $12,000, you don't owe no money again. You still owe money. So you can't come and say, "Oh, I can't come and say, but I get print 12,000 even though I owe the man 25,000. It doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? So the woman didn't have money. The money she had, she took it from her other convention. And it takes time to plan. Look, like the nursing program, it was meticulous planning that went into that. They have to know that that program will benefit Grand Jury. They have to know that the process and what the school was going to do with that money, so that when she signs up and money go to that project, significantly she knows what's happening. She will get results from there. She can come back to GGA and get a full financial report of what's happening. A lot of our friends are criticizing Edith had just been to the place where when they take money from the organization, there's no accountability. They can bring spreadsheet. They just put money down on spreadsheet to get it, see that financial report. Nobody goes to the bank to say, okay, let a bank statement that accompany the financial report. Let a statement that we send to Labro. Let it receive the other people receiving money. Let it receive all buying it. Financial statement encompasses a lot of things. So when Edith is doing what she's doing, like President Collins said, she's building a system.
Is she giving a financial report according to the Constitution?
Someone is giving financial report according to the Constitution. She submits to the board like the Constitution says. And the board sends it to the chapter leaders. And she has been on top of that. She don't do it sometimes. She do it all the time. Because if you know Edith, you know that Edith is a person who makes sure that things are done when it needs to be done.
In addition to what Valiku just stated, the president is a president of corruption. That is why former leaders don't like to meet the president face to face. Because there's one thing.
Wait, former leader. Who the former leaders?
Fred Grayler won. President Fred. I'm going to say it clearly tonight.
Yubote?
James Yubote, I'm not going to call James Yubote's name because he's one of our...
Please don't call him any name. If I cry tomorrow morning, I beg you.
No, I'm not going to call President Yubote's name tonight. You see, the fact of the matter is that, that's what I keep saying. The trend is moving forward. Sooner or later, Grangidians will realize that, no, some of our leader doesn't mean good for this organization. We need to silence some of these people in order for us to have growth.
In which way? You mean silence people?
It's simple. Either you come on board, or you start backstaffing. What President Fred and his allies are doing is staffing people from the back. When the last time, Prince, you had an opportunity to see President Fred in one of Madame Poir's programs that she's having? Come on, Grangidians.
We saw Levi in Iowa.
Let's go back to Fred.
Fred not in the picture now, so he left. So the GGA, I think Fred registered to vote to me. Let me be frank with you.
Yeah.
All those things Fred wrote on the Facebook, I think he's just frustrated, but he knows deep down with him, he said he don't mean those things. Because I cannot say this person now uniting us, and then your GGAAD that you formed, you got only 4 members that are registered over there. You got include you yourself with all your lieutenants, all of the names on there.
And your national president and your national president is running campaign for Gamer. You found a GGAD, and the national president of GGAD is running campaign for Gamer. So, I just want to add on to what my brothers just said, that, he did not doing anything with the money. Like they said. They don't even know how the first convention was funded. The first convention in North Dakota.
You would take left money there. That was Edith News.
Negative. Like Valeku said, you get somebody 12,000 and you left somebody. The woman, the first thing she had to do was to pay the people $15,000 in North Dakota. So if you left not North Dakota, Iowa, if you left 12,000 and you owe the man $15,000.
I thought she had a convention with the money James led, and then she raised a lot of money before she started paying the debt.
How did she even have to come? You know how much it costs to host a convention for GGAA? People have to make volunteer contribution. I would even say tonight, and Marco V and all our ladies.
We always do that. We always have volunteer contribution.
That's how the convention was even here in North Dakota. So if somebody took 1 year,
with the money Gene left there.
She didn't leave $1, bro.
Well, funny that Gene left there. Prince, you left somebody. No, but Prince, we're not going to say Jane not do anything. That's not what we're here for. But if you left somebody in $25,000 debt and you left $12,000, then you say I left money there. No, you did not leave money there. So the woman have to struggle to even have for first convention. And by the grace of God, that convention was successful. That through that convention money, she was able to pay off some debts. And then she went ahead, empower a woman, and her national chair they hosted another convention for the women. And then they have another program to Atlanta, Georgia. That's how she got a little money in her account. So people are saying, oh, she got money. But did you see the trend that she have to follow to be able to even acquire some money, to be even able to keep some money in the account? So now that she got some money, she started with the nursing program. She about to do the basketball court with everything on it, right? That's what we call planning. You don't just implement, you plan.
Did she
Then
pay?
you implement.
Did she pay the other group? She paid the other couple from Iowa. We were in debt too. Did she pay the other money to the other how you call it? Change network.
Yeah, like the $10,000 she has to pay to
Oh,
make it
okay.
25.
Go ahead, Mr.
But,
You
Collins.
left
yeah,
you
but
left the
Prince,
one with Walla debt. Then you say, oh,
yeah,
she hasn't done anything. You expect her to perform magic in less than 2 years?
Prince.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
mean, for Grand Jury Association to go to a convention without money is a problem.
It's a serious problem.
Yeah, I mean, I was very surprised 2 years ago when Madam Paul was elected. People were crediting money to pay for the convention costs. It should not be like that. Now she going into a convention. People are crying. She got money. She got over $51,000. She can sponsor any convention. That's how it should
Yep.
be. You got to have a good leader that will strive within a year to have enough funding to be able to host convention. There's nothing in our administrative work that you're supposed to credit money to host convention.
Nope.
So if you have a president who has vision, who has passion, will make sure that before we get to May next year, we got to be able to find money and raise money, because it's very shameful for us to be around for more than 50 years and we're crediting money to host convention. So, I mean, people should commend this lady that took all the organization. If Jim gave her $14,000 or $17,000 and he was in debt, $25,000, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that you're taking the organization with negative balance. Even my grandchild, who is in the first or second grade, will understand that. So she did very well from taking the organization from negative balance to getting it to where it is within 2 years, talking about 24 months. We should commend her for that. And not only that she got $51,000, she got projects that she undertook. She spent money and she did things for the Grand Jury Association. The image of the association is better off. We feel proud sitting down on your show tonight to let people know that we support Grand Jury Association. Now we got people getting in the race. I'm happy to see so much of the GGAAD people that left, including Fred, running and registering. Even if you charge them $100, they will register because they believe in the leadership. You know, if the organization are not going the right direction, they will not be around.
Because they can see their name in the chat room when they
only
pay
that,
$5.
Now that
They can
President
see
Collins,
their names are reflected.
at the convention, Iowa, Prince and myself were outside. He was very upset. We saw what happened there. Okay, we saw what happened. They made her 3 different cash out with 3 different names. Money was going to everybody we didn't even know. I mean, at the door. The Prince he asking, I mean, gentlemen, what's going on here? This is chaotic. And Edith came from there. And Edith said, look, we have to streamline the process of how we handle our business here. So if you look at the convention now, you can go to the convention. You can pay your sitting fee online. You don't have to send in line. Okay, GGA has its own information. The Cash App is for GGA. The Zelle is for GGA. Everything that has to do with financial the best financial practices, the woman put in place. She did it in North Dakota. She's doing it in Kentucky. The process is smooth. I mean, when you want to talk about organizational leadership, and I know y'all are setting, what project? But every organization I know in Labrador, they're having project, but every day they're money issue. Okay, this administration either don't sign checks, and that's why so the men are they angry with Edith, because they have a record of something. They don't have any relationship with good governance. They have records of signing checks. They have record of not giving financial report. So Edith is doing all these things, and when they look at themselves and they look at Edith, Here's the stock contracts of what they have been, and they are upset.
There were no checks. Why?
Yes.
They had a system. They got a system in place that no checks are ordered no more.
Well, no. Checks are ordered, but you got to go through the process.
But that's a process.
Under the leadership of the president, you got to.
I heard they say the treasurer, Madam Yonto Breeze Stevens. She got the check. She got the checks both shipped to Jason, keeping it in the.
You can hold the check for as much as you want to.
To write a check, you gotta go. You gotta order one for Grand G. It takes
she can hold the check for as much as she wants to, but Madam Poor is somebody that believes in the system. You got to give her something to believe that there's a need to write a check for that. She will not just write a check.
And besides that, Peter, besides writing a check, there's one raising money, but everywhere that she goes, she pay her own way. She transport herself. She doesn't ask the organization to give her money to buy her ticket. She doesn't ask the organization to pay for her hotel. She doesn't do that. She uses her own money to do everything that she is doing. What more do you want? Do you want a leader that you don't even know what they're doing with the money? Is that what we're looking for?
Let me speak to Grangians tonight. We have close to 20-something chapters now under the leadership.
Oh, wow.
Yes. We're doing good.
Those chapters are coming back home.
They're coming. They have to come back home. Because the train is moving forward again.
But this allegation, what will you guys say about this allegation about that the critics are making around here that it is she got this in her DNA to stage coups. Coup d'etat around chapters to remove chapter head.
No, please don't even waste your time to go there. Again, the train is moving forward.
Gentlemen, I gotta give me, and ladies and gentlemen, I gotta give me a chance to remove these Minneapolis, Texas chapter, Indiana, right here, beside me, Virginia. These are all interim leaders that are in those chapters.
Again,
one of the watchful out either part in Minnesota. Right here,
Prince. Again,
what would you guys say about this? Fred said it. Fred said it. A lot of people said it. He is going around promoting coup leaders. Alexa Bobby told it.
Oh no, Prince. No,
that's not true, Prince.
No, Prince. I spoke to Colombo Zena from Indiana. I mean, this is a guy who's very strong, served on the national board and serving leadership capacity. And he said that he told the young people in Indiana that if they want to, because they saw what was happening, people try to follow good ways. So they wanted to be able to be part of the process. Like my man always talks about the train going forward. So he told them, you guys got to get organized. So to get organized, if you have the shortest time, you're not having election, they can put together and establish an interim administration that can help them organize. And I think that's the reason why you see these people coming up. Why they never did it in the past. Now that they see that the organization is getting on track, they see the leadership is being very forceful and very promising. So they all want to get together to be able to look. When we talk Edith, when we talk over this organization, I think we have about 13 or 14 chapters. The creation of additional 8 chapters were headed by Edith.
That's correct.
That was her role. The very first trip after we took over, I think it was less than 1 month, she drove her car, and her car was V8. I remember that day they came to the house early in the morning. V8, just imagine the gas. Nobody. She said, we got to go to Kentucky. That was the first time we met Peter then. When we went to Kentucky, we were able to organize the people there. We called them up, we talked to them just in 1 week. And she headed out that delegation. She only came with her brother.
It's just the experience that you gave her on your leadership that she's using to remove these leaders and put in leaders that she thinks can manage the affairs of the organization.
Look, Prince. Look at this, Prince.
No, but Peter, let me answer the man. And how many leaders are removed? How many leaders are removed?
Minnesota, Indiana, Virginia.
Indiana, when we got there, Indiana was already established. They had CCO as the president. When we went to Kentucky never had leadership. They were not even part of the union.
So true.
We stayed there for 2 days, the whole weekend. we showed them the path of registration and being part of the union. When we left from there, they became very viable. If I'm very proud today, I'm sure Ida is proud because that she helped to create that chapter that hosting an election convention today. So people should look at what she has done. She not new, and that's the reason why we support her, because she knows
so this experience that Ida got, Mr. Collins.
Mr. Collins, Peter, let me say something.
She's going around. So this I want you guys to speak to what they're saying.
Yeah, let me speak to this, Prince. Let me speak to that.
Especially Minnesota issue.
Let me speak to this quickly.
I'll give you the chance. They're accusing Ida of being the mastermind behind that whole process.
Let me speak to this quickly.
To have Mr. Floyd removed, Mr. George removed and replaced by Bobby Tote, Hillary Tote.
Let me speak to this, Prince.
Go ahead.
Let's look at the chapters that they say have internal leadership, that they have one thing in common. So sometimes, you have to have some level of background information to make, and I said the people sometimes who make these comments don't have any relationship with the truth. So sometimes they just say what they want to say. Indiana chapter was dead. Literally, they were out.
And Ida went in.
So was hold on now. Virginia chapter was out. They were dead. They were not functional. So was
Ida went in.
So was the Minnesota you're talking about. Now, if a president comes to a chapter that is non-functional and say, guys, we need you guys to come on board, and the people in those chapters gather and put themselves together, how is that a bad thing? Why won't you employ a president? How many chapters that Ida met in 20 when she came? I think 2022, right? How many chapters did Ida meet? Maybe 10, 12? We are going to convention.
As we speak, I think they say Ida is on her way now to Illinois.
Today we are going to convention, and guess what? Today we are going to convention
on her way to Illinois to put an interim leader.
Prince, Ida met 10 to 11 chapters. Today she's going to convention with 20 chapters. That's a testament to the work that she have done. In law they say the thing speaks for itself. You don't got to talk it. If you met 10 things here and you add another 10 to it, it means you are growing. Now, the issue with chapters in Minnesota chapter, they had a president who overstayed. The chapter was dead. The people of Minnesota took a decision based on what they felt that was good for them. It had nothing to do with that. It was the people of Minnesota who felt that they had to make a change in that chapter, and they went and did that. Other chapters are doing the same. Texas, they happen in Texas. They called meeting in Texas. The non-functional president was there. They said, "John, my man, we want an internal leadership." He was removed from there. So to come here and say Edith is what Edith is doing is, when Edith leave as president of this union might have 30 chapters.
50.
Okay, she might even have chapters in every state.
I think the people that
so I don't understand this.
Edith met Bobby in Iowa on a Friday, and then on Saturday. And on the Sunday, there was a coup in Minneapolis.
But you gotta ask the people in Minneapolis what happened there, Prince. You gotta ask the people in Minneapolis what happened there.
Bobby was with Edith. Bobby was with Edith.
But Prince, ain't Bobby came on your show? And Bobby explained to you what happened?
Look, Prince.
But VK, let me say something quick. Here. So, what do the people expect? They want a chapter to be dead or alive? Do they want a president that just sit there and do nothing? Our people, they rather a chapter sitting down there, the president sitting there and doing nothing. So now the whole thing evolved around that president. So without you now, the chapter cannot function. That's the mentality.
It is not here for that. She's going to straighten it.
But if you overstay your time, it's not like they impeach you. It's not like they took you from there wrongfully. You overstay 7 years, the floor judge. 7 years, and you still want to be president?
Our brother here from Illinois, he said Illinois already have an interim leadership.
The people of Indiana were registering. The chapter was there. They were trying to register as individuals, but they decided to put themselves together to register as a chapter and put an interim leadership in place. This is how it's supposed to be. One person cannot just sit there and kill the whole chapter because without you, the chapter cannot function. That's not good.
Madam Clark, let me tell you.
Yeah, no, Prince.
Mr.
You know that.
Mr. Collins, 1 minute. I got a question for you, Mr. Collins.
Let me just talk about the interim thing just 1 minute. Look, these guys are doing it because it is to their advantage and the advantage of the membership. Because if they are not establishing the chapters, they're going to be paying $25 to the national. Each of the member will pay $25. So it's better for you to be able to put your interim administration in place where you pay only $10. You know that, Prince, you served as president before. So if you have a membership, it's better for you to meet and get your acts together, establish your interim leadership, pay $10 to the national. That is your registration fees. And then you can take whatever money your people got and take care of your chapter later on when you come for the convention. That's the reason why you see most of these guys are trying to revitalize the chapter, put the interim leadership together.
I think Mr. Collins, I think that's what Indiana was doing. They were because they said that Ben dead, so they were sending $25 to the national. I think few of them paid. Then later on, they said, "Madam President, we need our money back." And then later on, I don't know how that thing happened. We saw Emmanuel Tillman.
They registered the $300.
Internal General out of
because they call a meeting and register their chapter. That's what happened. They paid their certain fees.
So they took the $25 that they paid. They took $10 from there, sent it to the national, and that $20 the $300 there, and then they left with some money in the chapter.
That's what they did.
So then why Eden to be blamed for that?
What Eden has to do with that?
Did she not mastermind that?
Mastermind that in what way?
Did she not? Who gave those people the idea? Is she not the one?
If she getting the idea, it's a brilliant idea. If our president, I would do the same. You know, I would tell them, your guy, chapter, why you want to pay $25 and suffer your
$25? You can register your $300.
You better allow your chapter pay $300 and then keep the other money so you can do better with your chapter. And a good leader will say that. Nothing wrong with that. We can't continue to tax our people money, and we want them to go to the convention and take part in the development process of the organization. We should save them money. I see chapter leaders charging people $120. They got to buy a ticket, and you take it to be fun.
Prince, let me come in for a second. Let me come in for a second, Prince. Let me come in for a second. Look, Prince, this issue is very, very serious. Few weeks ago, the campaign manager of Game on Slew team, Uriah Son, went online making a huge allegation. Oh, guess what? The coup were playing with Bobby to bring over 250 people to come and vote in this election. They're going to bring about 5 different bosses, fellow Grangidians. I want us to look at this keenly. Once you are sitting, I want you to open your window and look at your next door neighbor. We are one family. We are Grangidians. We are not dividing ourselves. We don't want a situation whereby lies will be said. Look at the role that Bobby Tolley is playing now. Hey, Grangidians, we have a place where we're going to meet for a convention. Let's go there. Let's have fun. It's not all about election. Say your name. I will pay for you. Whether you're from the Game on Slew team or you're from from Team Port, say your name. What kind of leader would do that if they are supporting only President Apua? If that coup d'etat were planned by the president,
it is a coup d'etat.
It's not a coup d'etat.
Because you just said if that coup d'etat was planned.
Bobby Tolley will never ask the other side to say, send me your people. I will pay from my pocket to send them there. What if they are going to send in 500 people that goes to the convention to vote? And Bobby pay for them. What happened next? Let me tell you something, Prince. Grangidians are moving forward. They are not going backwards.
No way.
And Prince, there's the thing.
That we know our right. Seeing Peter Dazi on the ticket today means a lot. The president's vision is so wide. Not only things.
I hope the Minnesota Spring You know, they had the Arab Spring. My man Bobby just mentioned it. They did the Minnesota Spring. Oh, it don't spread all over the place.
No, but Prince,
Let me tell you what happened in our Sunday meeting. This going Sunday we had our meeting here, local meeting, and then on the agenda talking about that, I think other matter, and our president said, "Shoot, I'm going to appoint the next meeting. I will appoint an election commission so we can conduct an election in our state here. I do not want no overthrowing in our state."
Look, my man Prince.
Prince, there's the thing, right? Prince, let me tell you this.
Spring is moving like tree.
The dream is moving forward.
Yeah, let me say this, Prince. There's the thing, right? I think it's a good thing, right? To be frank, that leaders in these chapters have their feet to the fire. For too long, leaders have been so complacent. They sit back, they do nothing. When they kind of conventional chargeable fees, they go there. So leaders spend there 10 years, 15 years. When you are a leader of a chapter now, you will know that when you are there, you got to call for meetings, you will do the people's work, and when your time finishes, you will exit in a very dignified fashion. If you decide to do otherwise, you will know that the people in your state will take decisions that you may not like. Look,
they'll follow the Minnesota Spring.
They'll follow the Minnesota Spring. And the thing about these things are, look, when you are a president, either is putting power to make sure she revitalizes GGA. There's nothing wrong with either going to a dead chapter and saying, guys, you guys got to put yourself together, and giving them ideas of how to bring the chapter to life. That's her job. If she didn't do so, then you will criticize her. But to criticize the woman for doing her job, it means that you are inherently saying she's a good leader, but you just don't like her. To criticize the woman for revitalizing chapters, for bringing more chapters into the UN that are active, for making sure that leaders who are inactive either become active or the people will take away, they will take it from that. And I think Edith has done an effective job as leader of GGAA.
Something is.
The team is moving forward and we're not looking backwards.
So I wanted to ask Mr. Collins. The thing is playing backward here. 1 minute. Hello? Okay. You're hearing me?
Yeah,
we hear you.
Yeah, and to add to what VK just said, right, Prince? I mean, if you are a leader in a chapter and your time is over, set out the election commissioner. Let the people decide if they still want you. Like some chapters that the leaders, like in your chapter, your leader have overstayed, right? But the people were the one that told her to stay there. They said stay here until we can have elections. That is different. Set up an election commissioner, let the people be the one to tell you to remain there. But you cannot just sit supine and be so complacent that you think it's all about you. I will do it at my turn. No, the very Constitution, when you took over, you swear to abide by the Constitution. So when you overstay, you violate the Constitution. So what is covering you now? You are not under the Constitution anymore. So Floyd Joy passing around and making noise all over the place because he's the only one. All the other chapters, the presidents are not making noise because they know that they are overstayed. You, Floyd Joyce, you passing all around the place. Like I told you the other night, all the energies that you are exhibiting now, I wish you had done that in the past. We wouldn't have been at this junction today. But you
the
were
way
telling
you guys
your
are
members
speaking,
that you didn't have no time.
The way you're speaking tonight and floor the national administration that all of you guys back here tonight I've set up some some investigation committee to go and investigate that process between Flo and Bobby's group. And you guys are talking, you think Flo will have confidence in the process?
Well, Prince,
they left with him.
Flo, the
Prince,
national
whether you have
administration
confidence or not.
Prince, the national administration under Edith Poir has a duty to uphold the laws of Grand Judea County, and she's going to do so. When a chapter or an individual sends a complaint, that complaint is sent to her, she has an obligation to impartially investigate that, and I think Edith is doing that. We on the campaign thing, we are just saying, listen, the issue in Minnesota is a Minnesota issue. The people of Minnesota took a decision based on several factors that were going on in their
but you guys are all supporters of Edith now. And you guys are bashing.
We are running
Kind of
campaign.
bashing.
Well, I'm not bashing Floyd. I'm not bashing
Floyd.
George.
You think Floyd will have a better case in this thing?
Well, yes, because the administration of Madam Idepua, who has set up a committee to impartial investigators, will investigate this thing, and she will publish a findings that everybody can read, and it's going to be impartial, and it's going to be to the point.
And you guys are supporting Idepua. These are top doors here now. These are top brass. You don't think y'all can influence this process?
No, we're
We cannot. We are
the president cannot be influenced.
I
cannot be influenced by anybody. The president is a president. She's a decision-making president. That is why people say Edith does not listen. She don't just get up and listen to everybody. No, she make decision as a president. You know, before you throw your support behind somebody, you look at the person and weigh the person, how they're going to lead you in that train that moving forward. Now, let me bring it back to Gaiman himself. I'm surprised that the people of Michigan have not removed Gaiman yet as a president. Because he's not even functioning as a president, for goodness sake. Look at the names that
is the train heading in that direction?
Who knows that the train might head that direction? If the people feel like, there's a need for the train to head that direction, because Grenadians are looking for. How can you be a president of a chapter? You submitted a list, a means.
Only your family.
National. Only your wife, your children, your brothers and sisters. Your vice president, for goodness sake. Look, Grenadians, let me speak to you guys for a second.
Yeah.
This organization is not an organization for play. This is a serious business. If Gaiman is unable to lead his own people in that chapter, sending a list of only his family member coming from Michigan, what an embarrassment to our constitution. What's an embarrassment to our organization for this man to be a presidential candidate, Grenadians? Think about your children. Think about the future of the organization. I believe the people in Putu are watching us tonight. I believe the people in Zwedru were watching us tonight. Gaiman is unfit to be a national secretary either. He needs to go for training. He needs to be trained. Being a businessman doesn't take you to be, well, become a businessman. I got money so I can lead these people. No. I am a businessman. I cannot consider myself to be fit to lead the people of Grand Juda County. Look at the man Tillman. Let's talk about Gaiman Tillman for a second. Just 3 days ago, he was on a show. He's not even able to answer questions on a national view like what we're having today. Look, Grand Juda, this is not a joking matter. Why will you have temper? Anybody will speak to him, you take you to court. Michael V, right now we have to calm our sister down. If not, we're going to be a problem. I know you're going to let me go.
How you know Gaiman already saw 10 people?
It's right there.
You have the list?
Yes.
The list is up in the chat room, Prince.
It's all over.
It's in the
Can anybody point at Gaiman vice president name on the name that Gaiman sent to the national for election? The vice president is not there. What about
let me welcome my co-host here first. I'll give you a chance to speak. But Madam Gatto, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Gatto, you are a strong supporter of Edith, so I'm not going to tell you to ask these guys questions because you're going to spin the question and make a question fine to them for them. So, Peter, I don't know. You just told us that Gaiman registered 10 people from his state.
Yeah.
And those 10 people are
here. Do you have the list of? Do you have a list that says that Gaiman?
Yes. I can have Valiku send it to you now and publish this name.
I can read it for you if you want me to read the names.
Yes.
Send it to me and read it and send it.
In addition to that, I received a phone call from Gaiman vice president.
Yeah.
You mean Gaiman vice president call you?
Yes.
Yes.
I have to verify this.
So are you guys telling me that you will not be able to exercise Prince?
You mean Gaiman sent a list and his vice president is not on our list?
That is so correct.
Is she not coming?
How was she not coming? He blocked the people. He don't talk to them.
He blocked the vice president and all the other people. He blocked them from the chat room.
What's your name? Ophelia?
Ophelia Dennis.
Ophelia Dennis. Because the vice president disagreed with him. He blocked her.
Prince,
he blocked
now just think about it. This is the man that we're going to take to be our next president.
I have to verify. I have to
All
verify that story that Gilmore sent a list without his vice president
right,
name.
take your
For the
time and
list
verify
is
it.
either GGAF chat room and Prince is not having.
It's not only that. Only the vice president, the rest of the members are not there. Only his brother and sister
Only
name.
family member names on the list. No other person
But
outside.
don't forget, he's going to be our supreme leader of the Grand Jury Association if we allow him to get close to the overall office. Prince, let Grand Jury make no mistake. This organization
I'm trying to call the lady to verify that story. Because it's a troubling story.
Yes,
That a list going to come without the vice president.
We're not making our story. They're not only she alone. There are a lot of members within the chapter that names are not on the list. I hope she can answer her phone tonight.
We're speaking fact. And any member of the Grand Jury Association can go in the chat room and see that.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, how you doing?
This is Prince Double.
Oh, how you doing, Mr. Double?
I'm good. And you are live. There's a show that is going on the Prince Double show. And just to tell you that you are live, the people are hearing your voice.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Are you guys hearing her?
Yes, we are.
This is troubling to me. Madam Dennis.
Yes.
This is a discussion we are having here, and your chapter name popped out. That a list was sent from your chapter by your president, and your name is not on the list, the voter registration list that was sent to the national. Do you have any idea on a list coming from your state, from your national, and your name is not on it?
Actually, I saw the list in the chat room and on Facebook when it was published, you know. But I did not receive any information from him, you know, to know what was going on. Actually, you know, it's just hard to explain, but we didn't know anything about it. We only saw the list going, and I tried to reach out, and I did.
Try to reach out to who?
Contact Carly first. I don't even know his number, so I was able to talk to what his name, Leroy Willie, the acting secretary.
Okay.
It's an all been item. We never had any kind of official election in Michigan in the first place. So when I saw the list, I said, well, why are they sending their family names? Sending people names that never associated with us in the first place. His auntie, daughter, family, and what I feel. And even Michael, his oldest brother, you know, his wife and little daughter, and other people that names, they never associated with us. So I said, but this thing, you know, it's not a family thing. But we've been having back and forth, and I saw in the chat room, and I saw on Facebook how we got to know. And I talked to a few other people. So it's just laughable, you know.
So you want to tell me that you're not registered to vote in this election? Your name is not to the national, and so don't you guys have a chat room? Because here, for example, in my state, Kentucky, that where I'm from, the president of our chapter, Madam Muna Warranty, a very beautiful lady also, she called a meeting that this is the time to register. And the registration starts here, ends here, your names say end on the date, your name's supposed to be on this date, so I can compile the list and send the list. So it's open to register. And then she said, $120. We came to a decision and a conclusion. We all pay $50. So we had a time for we discussed it. So before that time, you have to pay your money for your need to go there. If you don't pay your name, we're not gonna. Was there anything set up like that you guys had a meeting where this information will pass out in your chat room or even by a call for you to register?
Prince, to be very honest, it's just hard to say.
What is hard to say, Madam Vice President?
Okay, what is hard to say, because first of all, we don't even have a chapter. Let me say it that way. You know, we don't even have a chapter. We don't even meet in the first place. Never had in-person meeting. And besides that, the West Up chat room that was set up at anti-prayer line chat room. Okay, that's a prayer line number, and A lot of stuff been going on. So as for me, I was not even informed. And condemn myself, they're going back and forth. There's no understanding between us. We've been having a lot of noise and no personal attack and stuff like that. So me, some of the things that, I just look at them from distance. But for the sake of respect, because we decided to get together as a body, as Nigerians in Michigan, there's no respect. They don't really contact anybody for anything. Once they agree, sometimes they contact Leroy, that's it. I get to know one of the meetings, one of the last meeting, Mr. Hammond didn't even know about it, but later on, he got informed and he went online and there was a misunderstanding out of that meeting that night. The next thing he got blocked. They anti-blacking. Which is Mr. Essie calling him blacking Mr. Hammond from the chat room.
Mr. Essie Wiss Collins?
Yes.
Let me read the memos that are list. This is the Michigan chapter here. You guys send, this is your annual fees. You pay your $300 for 2024, 2025. I got you over there. But you got Otavio B. Gilmans. I got Darius Ward. I got Delphina Collins. I got Y. Michael Gilman. I got Shelley Cowu Gilman. I got Mike Talinta Gilman. I got Leroy Whitty. I got Renee Whitty. I got Benjamin T. Collins Sr. And I got Essie Wiss Collins. These are the 10 names that were sent from your chapter. And you as a vice president telling us tonight that you don't have knowledge on this and your name is not on the list.
Yeah, but my name is not there because NTF, they own everything. So the whatever decision they run, that's the funder. Okay.
Well, have you contacted the national administration to report these things, that there is a process and the name is going from our state and we are not on it?
Yes, there's a complaint on the way to the national board, national president administration asking for the intervention because they are not more Nigerian than any other person.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll get to that.
Thank you very much.
That's all I can say so far. But they never informed most of us. They say we got more Nigerians there. We got more Nigerians. Even like the Thomas, Mr. Esther Thomas, the treasurer, her Nina on the board.
The treasurer Nina there. You the vice president. You're Nina there. The treasurer Nina. One of the president and the secretary.
Let me get me Mr. Joseph Hammond, who was officially elected by elected by us, the body in Michigan.
The board member.
Board chairman when he replaced Mr. Hammond with his brother Michael Gimoni, his name is not even on the list. Mr. Benny Thomas, the husband of Mistress Esther Thomas, his name is not there. Benita Thomas, the daughter of Mistress Esther Thomas, her name is not on the list. Even Harold Limbo, her daughter, who is the vice president of the Liberian Association of Michigan, her name is not there. Her husband name is, so many people name on that list. Even Mr. John Wulu, the man who Richard Nixon is son here. Francois Dominic, his name not there.
I know the guys in Kuremo district, so my district.
Okay, Gina Wulu, her name not there. Sophie Dan, her name is not there. Esther Barry, her name is not there. My uncle and two children in Michigan. And so many Nigerians that don't want to come up because of the nepotism, and disrespectful behavior of Otavio Gamer and Auntie Collins. That's what somebody that would.
What are you talking about? Prayer line. You're on a chat room with a prayer line. What you say?
Because the line, the way it was set up. So we decided to make it official and to make it more official and democratic, so we can have it like official, because they know that's the only way they will, or nephew will go out there. Because if it's democratic, they will have it like official. Where you gonna go at nowhere? Because we got more qualified Nigerian than any other person than he right up. So they try to do it through the back too. But we try to came with clear intention, but we never knew they had a healing agenda. Okay?
So you guys set up this teleconference or wherever chat room, and who controls it?
I said an SC calling prayer line.
And you're saying that the board chairman was removed?
Oh yeah, they removed Joseph Hammond, and even that man, the member, board member George Boardwood, he lives in Grand Rapids.
So
Yeah, my other family, yeah, my other family.
Boardwood name is not on this list. Common name
Yeah,
is
even
not on
that.
the list. Your name is not on this list. You see the treasurer name is not on the list too.
Yeah, but she extra famous. I mean, the mother-in-law of J.J. Dennis when in Philadelphia, the vice president of Michigan, so that the sister, younger sister of J.J. Dennis West in Philadelphia, that they're not on the list.
Thank you very much.
Prince,
Yeah.
let me talk. Please.
There's a need for y'all to get together to get to the national administration.
I think yeah, we'll get to the administration, but we
He
need to
black
really
honor them.
we're not done right.
Okay,
Prince.
thank you.
He black
let me-
honor them. He black
Prince,
honor
let me speak to the
people.
Grenadiers here, please.
Well, 1 minute. That's what we do here when we get information. We say out. The other time we were here when Levi said his name was sent to the national from his chapter and his name, somebody omitted the name, J.J. Dennis, maybe it was Isaac, you know what, I moved his name. Directly that day, we called it acting president, the interim president of in Texas chapter with the membership committee chair lady, and they spoke to that issue. So when Peter brought this thing out here, we thought it was to call that chapter's vice president to clarify some issue. That's what we do here, and make sure that information go out there is clear. We don't want no say. So we heard it from the ladies now that her name is not on that list, and that there's a need that the national president should get to these people so they can get to wherever, and then they let these people register directly to the national. They have their rights to vote. They are grandchildren. They cannot be suppressed. They cannot be marginalized.
Prince, let me come in for a
You need
second.
to do that. If it's what she's saying, president need to get involved and do that very fast.
Prince, let me come in for a second.
Go ahead.
Look, I want to speak to Fred Greer tonight.
You're bringing Fred Greer back here again?
I have to bring Fred Greer back. Look,
but then you conclude with Fred with your conclusion.
I can't conclude with Fred. I need to conclude on this, please.
Let me hear from my co-host.
Please,
let me hear from my co-host.
Please, we gotta.
Peter, before you bring your co-host in,
I need to speak to Fred Greer.
Yeah, but hold on. Peter, hold on. Peter, hold on.
We don't want to make it sure.
I'm still on the woman. I'm not like a woman yet. I'm still on the woman.
Peter, hold on. Before your co-host come in, Mercy, before you come in, look, we are on the show.
People the woman is startled.
No, I'm talking about Madame Gallo, not Mrs. Tallow. Madame Gallo. But Prince, we are talking a significant issue.
Even with Mr. Gallo, I just being ungrateful. I gotta add my husband beyond it's Tally. It's Telly, not Tally, but it's Telly.
Madame Gallo, they you know ready. Need someone know that.
No, because I borrow knee. So I can't carry most of the time. I borrow that knee.
Okay.
But Prince, look, we are talking a very significant issue that on your show has been raised tonight. Okay, we are talking about a candidate who's saying that he's up to the tax.
Yeah.
To lead thousands of Grenadians in the United States, and yet a chapter, a one Michigan chapter, when he has a little bit of misunderstanding with his people, the black people, they refuse to add names of people on the list to come in and participate in the convention. Okay, they run the thing like it's a family and friends, a family affair. You answer this question, and everybody that is listening tonight. Are you believing that this particular gentleman who cannot even handle the running of a small chapter, can handle the workings and the running of GGAA all over the United States? My dear brothers and sisters, the answer to that question is an absolute and immediate no. Mr. Gavin doesn't have the temperament to lead. He doesn't have the ability to run.
What Mr. Baliku just stated.
So we thank God this issue was brought on your show. Thank God Grenadians can see that Mr. Gilman is not up to the task. As I said again, if you move Edith knee, you move Gilman knee, and you list their accomplishments and what they have done, 10 out of 10 times, everybody will vote for Edith. Tonight, it has been proven beyond all reason of a doubt that Mr. Gilman does not have the temperament to lead. He cannot run Michigan chapter. Michigan chapter is in disarray. The people in Michigan chapter are having problems. They have been disenfranchised. They have been bastardized. I mean, Mr. Gilman have done a disservice to Michigan, and he will pay at the ballot box because the people will go to Michigan to Kentucky and vote against him.
Peter, talk, then I will add on to that.
In addition to what our dear brother Valeku just stated, it's an embarrassment to see President Fred Graham that knows better about this organization. See a man that is not able to handle 8 people chapter. I'm not even talking about 40 or 50 before it can become problem with sue everybody. President Fred Graham, this is not you. Augustine May endorsed our brother. I felt so bad, downhearted, because the people of Grand Gila County believe in you guys as a leader. This is not a playing issue. This is about the organization. When our brother James Ibote endorsed Otavia, I was like, what is going on in the world? He said, I know for sure that this man, I'm going to cast my vote for
Is it not their right to do what they did?
It is their right.
It is Fred Graham's constitutional right. It is
their constitutional right. But at the same time, you don't put an individual above your people back home.
They feel that this man can lead the people. That's
nice. That they cannot lead his people. If he cannot lead.
Peter, Fred Graham was on the Prince Double show. And what did he say the reason that he was going to endorse Gilman? Didn't he say he thought that Gilman was a man that was going to be peace among Grandians? Wasn't that what he said to him, Mr. Double? So let me ask you a question. Based on the information you got tonight, does it seem like Mr. Gilman understand bringing peace among people? What he has portrayed in his own chapter, is a peaceful solution to what happened in his chapter? The answer to that question is no. So what Peter is saying is, when people come out and say, I'm supporting this person for some generic reason, it doesn't make sense when the person continuously begin to show that the reason you say you are supporting him, he is not the person.
And let me add to,
shown himself not to be that person. So when you come on a show, when people come on and say, "Oh, Gilman is the young men are going to be peace among all Grandians, he's going to do this," but the man can't even bring peace among 15 people in his chapter. Okay, charity begins at home. Charity begins at home. If a man cannot handle the affairs of Michigan and bring peace among 15 people or 20 people in Michigan, he's not bringing peace among thousands of. This election, over 1,000 people have registered to vote. Are you telling me Gilman is able to bring peace among those people when issues happen, when you cannot handle 20 people in Michigan? It doesn't work that way.
So let me add to what VK and Peter just said quickly. You know, when you go to every job, right? They ask you, what is your experience? And the reason they ask you for experience, because the longer you stay on that job, the more experience you have. And the mistake that we Grandians are making is 2023, Otavia Gamer already registered with Mr. James Jibote and established your chapter. Already, few weeks to convention time. And he wanted to be president without even staying in his chapter. Let me tell you something. Let me give you an example of myself. When I got elected in Delaware Valley chapter as a USAA chapter president, I stayed on my job for 1 year. Then my national president term was over. The people of my community came to me to go on the national. What did I tell them? I told them, no. I just started being president in my chapter. Let me stay in my chapter and grow my chapter, bring it up to date to the standard that I want it to be. Then at that time, maybe after that time, I can go on the national. So what did I do? I served 2 times in my chapter. When my people knew that I was well prepared because they saw the work that I did in my chapter. They saw the way I brought my people together. They saw the unity and the money that we were raising. They asked me to go on the national. Okay? So for me to become the national president is the experience that I took from my chapter leadership. Mr. Gateman did not even stay in his chapter for not even a year. The next thing he wanted to be president for a national Grand Jury Association in America. Here we are tonight. His vice president is telling us that he blocked them because they disagree with him because this woman was asking him for them to have elections because the plan was let's put an interim body together and then we can have elections. But because Mr. Gilmore did not want to have elections and the people were requesting election, he blocked them. And what did he do? Register only his family members. And you call yourself a leader? I don't know why JJ Dennis
Oh, yeah.
and Daniel Pine. Let me come to the two
Yeah.
IG and Bobo.
Hebrew
Let me
boys.
come to the two IG and Bobo. The two IG and Bobo that can sit on the same table, the two women and going life. Let me come to the two of them tonight.
No, they
Because
wanted to
when I
share the same strain. That's all. That's it. There's nothing wrong with that.
no, it's something wrong with that for me. Traditionally,
Why?
I'm
Madam
talking.
Clark,
You think it's
please
funny?
take it easy. Please take it easy with the two people here. One of them is my uncle and one of them is my president. Please take it easy small with them.
You think they're funny?
Mr. Malagalo. So that's some of
Madam
the
Clark, you
reasons.
think they're funny to cross the road?
No, I said that I'm free. Don't put me in no trouble. But my thing is for Daniel Pine. And let me get to Daniel Pine. Daniel Pine, nobody needs to tell you don't endorse Gamer that you're right to do whatever you want to do. But Daniel Pine, you left the community from the time Kau Flan and from the time Kau Flan recall you from the bowl. I'm in Philadelphia. I don't know what happened between you and Kaufland. You were the bold man that represented us when we went to Virginia for Fred Graham first convention. You were recalled. And when he was recalled from that time, he decided not to be part of the community. You have never seen
So the
Daniel
man said
Pine
his family
anywhere.
came. He said his family came, 4 or 5 children with his wife, so he had to
It
work.
doesn't
He alone
matter.
was doing
Do
this
they
and
have
doing
convention every day? Convention is once a year. Does he ever come to a meeting in Philadelphia? No. He sat on the sideline forever. But when he found the opportunity and found the weaker vessel, who is Otave Gamer, he can't creep it in and brought insurance thing. Like we're not in America.
Prince, let me say something. I don't know if you watched the video from Gilman when he was discussing the Minnesota issue. I don't know if you saw the video where he was wagging his finger and they human being there, whatever he was talking. Imagine the hypocrisy of that gentleman. The man had unresolved issues in his own backyard, in his own chapter. The man had unresolved issues in his own chapter. And he was running around discussing the issue about the people in Minnesota who were resolved to deal with their own leader who were just not doing nothing. I think somebody said in the chapter, they said the Gilman, the people he's dealing with in the chapter, that's why it's a win for him. Because can you imagine a gentleman who wants to lead GGA? He doesn't even have the ability to handle issues in his chapter. He left the chapter issues unresolved, and then he was meddling in Minnesota issue over there. But today we have found out that he can't even speak to his vice president. He blocked his vice president. He blocked permanent or Grandians who are in his chapter from participating because they don't share his views. Are we telling ourselves that this gentleman is the gentleman that's going to lead? I mean, we have to be frank about what we are talking about. We are talking about an organization that has been around for 50 years. 50 long years. This organization has been around. Are we going to say here and get the reins of the organization to a Gilman who can handle 20 people in his chapter? We must be serious. That's the soul of GGAA. This is an organization that people will take seriously. And at the end of the day, can Gilman, with his temperament, his inability to lead, can he resolve issues in chapters when they arise? No, he cannot, because the man have proven that he can do so. So at the end of the day, my people, we are saying to you, and I didn't say it. His vice president came and said it. Here's a list of the people that came from Michigan. This lady just ran off the names of at least another 10 or 15 people in Michigan, but the man sent a list of 10 people. So the Michigan list would be around maybe 30. He left 20 people off the list because he didn't share their views. Are we saying that there's a man who won't get the reins of GGA?
He doesn't even left Michigan. He left
right now.
Delaware.
He doesn't have a meeting in his chapter. He doesn't. The chapter is not productive. The chapter is effectively dead as it is. And yeah, he's running for GGA president. He's meddling other people's affairs.
No, Prince.
And he knows what's happening. I
Prince,
mean,
I still want to speak to our former leaders, Prince.
Let's be frank here. Peter, our former leader know that Gilman is not a person to lead.
He's not capable.
But they have decided to follow him because They themselves did not lead properly, and
He's
they
a
are
wicked
when they see
vessel for
Edith,
them.
when they see Edith leading, they have their own personal issues. But at the end of the day, the people of Grand Gita, the Grangians and the people in GGA have seen, they have heard what Gilman is, and when we get to Kentucky, they will make a decision, and he will pay out the ballot box.
Well, thank you very much, Valley Cool. Mr. Double.
Go ahead, Peter.
I feel so sad seeing the president of GGAD,
Yeah, Levi Kind.
Levi, of all people, that the people trust with an organization, supporting a leader that is unable to resolve an issue with his own vice president. Few weeks ago, we had an issue with our sister McAvee in court. Everybody was jumping all around. Gilman didn't do that. Gilman didn't do this. Look at the clear example in his own chapter, family. This is a clear example. If you don't go his way, you'll be black.
Yeah.
And yes, it's a family-owned organization. It's not a dictatorship. Look, my fellow Grangians, I want it to be known that the tree is moving forward. Things are happening each and every day. Our past leader, Fred, Augustine May, James, Lever, JJ Dennis, and the rest of them, you guys have failed the people of Grand Gita County today. And the people that are based in the U.S., looking at you throwing your support behind a man like Gilman.
Who can
I think that's the people right, Mr. Darcy, Mr. Darcy, Mr. Darcy. I gotta call you there, Mr. Darcy. That's the people's right, their constitutional right under the Constitution of the GGAA to affiliate, support anyone they want to support and affiliate with.
But you
cannot question the people for making that choice. Somebody will question you too for making a choice for supporting Edith. What will you tell them?
What does Edith is capable to lead?
Okay, so let us give my co-host. Let us give my co-host the minute.
Okay, let me just add to it before your co-host come in.
Because you're getting me confused about the people in supporting or endorsing. Mr. Gilmore is capable of running this organization. That's why he was clear. That's why he was clear by the election commission.
Prince,
that's what we are saying.
Prince, I'm worried about the people that even Gilmore do business with now.
He's not capable.
I'm worried about
my co-host, have your say, please.
Oh, Prince.
You already told me say I have a size, so if I come in now, you're not pause me.
Have your say, Madam Co-host.
Okay, this is it. If we say we are looking for a leader in this community, right? It cannot be Gilman. Reason being is most of the evidence were displayed tonight on the show by calling the vice president of his chapter and other Grangidians whose name were not mentioned on the list that was sent by him. That's number one error. And if God forbid he come close to power, that's completely a dictatorship that he's bringing. That if you are not in his corner, you are not a Grangidian. You will be silenced until he can lead power. That's another point. Now, if Fred Green claims that this guy is the way forward to peace, to reuniting this organization, then we all know that's a blatant lies. Why? If this guy will be a person to restore peace, according to them, we already have peace. They breaking up from us does not make us to feel that Grand Gita don't have peace. They are only struggling on that side. They want to come back, but no way for them to come back. Either Kimi Power, since she Kimi Power, she have been trying and striving to bring them on board. But they want somebody to go kill cap and sheep and lay down on the floor for them to walk on you before they know that this lady has been initiating peace. So now this is when the now man comes in and say, Neo low sound with sound cement down. That's Neo low sound with sound cement down. Things down, pray beyond them. And tonight we're gonna, we're gonna just say it the way it is. This is not about individual thing. It's about Grand Jide that we are putting first. I have my differences with Edith on this media. You all have seen it. But if I want to take my personal feelings to go fight against Edith, that I know that can lead the organization to doing something tangible, that she will leave a legacy that we Grand Jide will be proud of tomorrow in our county. And even in the diaspora, why would I go take my personal feeling and go and leave it on Edith, and Grand Jide is going down the drain? It's not about individual, feelings. It's about we putting our differences aside and carrying Edith Poor for the betterment of Grand Jide Association. So when they're talking about somebody who's going to bring peace tonight, I'm going to debunk that. We, the Grand Jide Association, have been standing without problem. They broke away. If they want to come back, let them come back as Grand Jide. Nobody stop them. I'm very ashamed of Levi Kine as a gobble woman and he's a gobble man. I'm very ashamed of the step they are taking. They are creating more chaos, and they are just making themselves to look bad. And then it's an English word that I have for them. They all are broadcasting their disability. And they need to stop broadcasting their disability, because we already know their weakness. We already know they ain't got nothing tangible to prove to us, to show us the reason why they should be voted for. I yield back tonight. Thank you.
Oh,
And
wow.
to add on what our sister just said, Prince, nobody is saying these people cannot support who they want to support. That's not what we're saying. But support somebody that you know can do the job. Don't support somebody because you hate either poor. Because I can just take this to be hatred. Why will you support a gamer over a poor that been in this organization for many years, that knows the in and out of this organization? You're going to support her over somebody that you cannot even trace to see what he has ever done in his chapter. What can you trace? What can you trace to a gamer? We heard his vice president tonight. He just established this chapter, a new brand chapter. It can't even stand. Like the guy said, they don't even have a chapter. He cannot even establish a chat room for his own chapter. He using an empty prayer line. Is that
Prince,
we're talking about business here tonight?
Prince, things are falling apart in Michigan because the center
So
can no
you're
longer
gonna
hold.
give
There you
GGAA
go.
to this man? Is that what we're telling our people? Let
Prince,
Gable stay in Michigan and try to bring Michigan up to speed. Then you can come from there to say you want to become national president. Let Josephine Sulu start from Mose PRS, for God's sake. Go be Mose PRA, probably secretary, treasurer, something. Then you can come to GGAA National. The two people that are at the top, they are not capable to lead this union. And that is the fact. Josephine Sulu is my sister. Her mother is my play mom. I call her my mom. Everywhere when she was in Philadelphia, my mother Sulu. That's my mother. I love her so dear. But Josephine Slu cannot lead this union. In the asking of Gamer, can Josephine Slu actually stay in the gap? Can Josephine Slu can represent GGAA? And I
Why
said
not?
no. She
Why not?
cannot. She cannot. I'm
she don't
sorry, she's
experience.
not ready. Leave from where you start from. 70 bomb. Look at she founded another organization they call 70 bomb. She left Mose PRA and founded 70 bomb. That's the type of division that we're talking about. Okay? Then you want to come to GGAA. The next thing you're going
Was
to do,
she ever
you're
in?
going to
Was she ever
divide
in
it.
Mose? Was she ever in Mose PR? No.
She was part of Mose PRA. As I could say, I used to see her around here going to Mose PRA event. All of a sudden, we go see she found 70 born. But my thing is, start from the beginning. You know, my late father used to have a parable before you come in, Peter. He used to speak it in Sapo. He said, there's some children, you know the reason you all can fail. I said, no. He said, because you don't claim ladder. He said, you see ladder, my daughter. He said, you see the reason they make a ladder? You climb 1 foot at a time. You go 1 foot, then you go 1 foot, then you go 1 foot, then you go see yourself up the ladder. He said, but your time children, you all want to start from the beginning and go straight to the top. It doesn't work like that. You have to have experience. Leadership comes with experience. Without experience, you cannot lead.
Look, Prince, we have a question even the business that Otavia is doing. Because looking at
Peter,
Otavia,
Mr. Darcy, please, I just don't want to forget what I want to say. As she was speaking earlier, and she said something about Josephine Slew. Now, I want to say something real quick. Probably just borrow me some time, 1 or 2 minutes. Let me say something real quick about Josephine Slew. Like Madam Clark have, perfectly, just said, Josephine is not a leader. They said before a child walk, he must first sit down, crawl before he start walking. You don't just jump and start walking. What is the leadership, example that she has? What has she done to prove her leadership ability to us? None. The last time
What do you mean?
I remember when I created.
Josephine, the chaplain in a state.
Prince, man,
Come on now, we're talking about real. We're talking about real
Won't
view
you
here,
come
man.
up
Come on now, we're
Prince?
talking
Come
about
on
real
now.
view.
gonna make you a
Come on,
Come on
Prince.
now.
vice president.
Let's be
Well,
realistic.
let's move on. Let's move on.
Let's be
Then
realistic.
that make
Okay,
you.
so
that-
Josephine does not have a leadership ability. Why? I worked with Josephine Slew. I created a group called Justice and Accountability Movement within the United States. Now, when that group was created, I was the treasurer, national treasurer of that group. I was the treasurer, keeping the money, making daily report, trying to make people to know how much they have and what we have. Now, Josephine was envious because the money was coming to me. I was doing daily report. When I left, I went to Liberia. She could not, with other people, which I'm not going to mention their name tonight because that's not what we're here for. They removed me so that she can be the treasurer. When they removed me and she was the treasurer, she was telling people to remove me. Yes, they did remove me for no reason. The only thing they could say, because I was so blunt to the truth and I'm not biting it, I'm not sugarcoating it. They say I'm rude, no problem. They took me out. Josephine ate the money. When they say bring report, Josephine can bring no report.
You can't make those allegations here without evidence, please.
So me not saying that, I'm telling you what is real. Attorney could tell me what evidence.
Where's the evidence? Show me evidence. Yeah, that Josephine ate the money. This is you know what I mean.
Look,
I
Prince.
hope you understand, my co-host.
Okay, so if that's one. If you don't want me to talk about it, I'm the clear evidence. It's something that I witnessed. I'm telling you, said no evidence. That's fine. I will fast forward. The next one, she was collecting money from Madame Bear, Mother Bear, which is Emir Bear. The money again, she ate it. She was insulting the woman. I called.
She ate the money.
Yes.
What do you mean? You want me to call Madame Bear? I don't think Madame Bear and Josephine having any issues. So let us.
Oh, please, let's spell me that. I'm giving you news from my own mouth, not the say.
If you want to call in on the show, those of you watching the show, when you want to call in, the number is on the screen there, 952-200-8420. I'm exhausted.
Let's get something.
952-200-8420. You can call in.
Yeah, Peter, let me say something. Then you close and then start calling the show. Please, let me tell you something. No, I said, let me say something before, and Peter will end on this issue, and then we'll start taking calls. Somebody, the cheerleader of GGA, Madam Etok Kwe Jai, on your show, Prince, she succinctly dealt with this issue, and she said it in a few words. The issue with Gilman leading this association, and a lot of people listened to what they said, but they did not understand what she was saying. And I think tonight it has become clear what she was saying. And in her own words, she said, the child was not born yet. They are about BB that, or the child was not born yet, the so be BB. And in her mind, and what she was trying to tell Great and Alash was, a man who in his chapter cannot handle issues, cannot handle the simple administrative issues in the chapter. Can he come about and lead the national chapter? It's impossible. And she was, the open and speaking parables, but she was giving us the information in clear view. A man who can handle his chapter, a man who would block his vice president, a man who would not send over 20 names to the national because he doesn't want to send it to them. Can he come and handle the national chapter? And the answer to that question is absolutely not. The man I'm born here about BB. It also worked there. And he doesn't have the championship to leave.
All right,
Because
let's listen to Conflict Dian and then Spencer Carr. Conflict Dian.
Yes, my people. You know, I didn't know much about the Michigan chapter. I really thought a serious thing was going on over there. I have called my auntie, Esther Thomas. Esther Thomas. I said, Angel, you will be to the convention. She said, no. This is an aunt that is playing the role of our late mother, Sarah Blank. And she said, no. But she was my brother Alex's wedding in Philly. She was the mother. I was sick when I was sick with cancer. Anytime I call her, she sending me money. I ain't even asking her. Even if I don't call her, she just say I will say something to her. So I called auntie to ask her if she would have got. I told her the thing is that when you see me, she can have to visit them. But she will always say I will come. And she would come all the way here. She drove before just to come and see me. So I'm very close connected to her. I said, Auntie, you will be at the convention. She said, no, I will not be there because I got her Frank Memorial Service. Then conversation started within Michigan chapter. First of all, the way they brought disrespected those people. Nobody must have ballot for him. Came wrong. It's not allowed. We shouldn't allow it even for the vote to be erased. Since Egypt is already in the race, he's already the president is doing great.
Can you refer to the man as Mr. Gilmore, please, and start calling him this ball on my show?
Stop. The man at this ball, I will call him this
Please
ball.
Stop calling the man this ball. This Mr. Gilmore, please, on my show, please. Later on, you can call him this ball somewhere, yeah, on my show, please, yeah.
So when he comes on your shoulder, how you will call me too? The man can be pointing finger to people, you not slide a finger. You say, we force to put me on. I'll put it there. But at the same way when he comes on the show, when he's talking about good people and calling them part of people that you know being come together. Can you imagine the what is disrespectful of your Mr.
You're still doing it. You're still doing it. You're still doing it. You're still doing it, please.
It's very disrespectful. You forcing me here to be irrespectful. But he's very, very disrespectful. And me when it comes to my family, my siblings especially, you don't try me and go on punish. I'm even finished with the money you are just starting with.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Let me finish now. He's disrespected my auntie in Michigan. They're well known to do people. My aunt made one remark to me. She said when we were organized, the first time we had a discussion or meeting and we were organizing a thing, we called them and said they're not going to do this. So anything,
Okay, Conflict, thank you very much. Spencer Carr.
Then I hear it one.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prince Daba. Congratulate you for your time. You know, you're not getting paid for the interest of Grand Gideon. You're doing this thing. One thing I want to say tonight, I believe as Grand Gideons, I don't think we come on your show to denigrate anybody, to demolish anybody, or to bring down anybody, whosoever you are. Okay? If a candidate is qualified for another group, we all have to see their platform, and we all have to make sure that we are doing the right thing. And Zeb, tonight on your show, that people are accusing people of eating money, of this, that, and all the kind of things.
Can you speak to the issue? I already told the lady that we're not going to accept that.
We did not say that. It's not a campaign.
Yes, so where you call for, just tell her, please.
Yeah, I'm coming. I saw you and I don't have it. I just want to say that, yeah, I just want to suggest that let us start to respect your show and let us go in, let us start out there.
The people are selling the candidate. They are selling the candidate. It's campaign season. You expect the people to come and string glory here. You're not here when Daniel Pine came here. You're not here when Fred then came here. That's campaign season. You live in America, sir.
Mr. Spencer Carr, this is America. This is a campaign. We will bring out stuff that we know, and we will say it.
If they are saying things that I don't have proof for attention, no, let us stick to the issue. You heard me saying that. But this is campaign season. They're selling the candidate, and they can't insult people. The lady was just calling the man this boy, and I told her to stop.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. I really want to thank you very much, bro. Mr. Bella.
I thought you had something to question the people about, but you came to warn the people.
But that make that clear. That was not even us. That's your co-host. So I don't want him to put it on a campaign. It's not a campaign. We did not denigrate anybody. We are just saying that they are not up to the task, and that's the fact.
But he's supposed to understand that campaign is running. The
Of
other people
course,
came
yes.
here.
That's all we said.
Mr.
They're
Graham
not
was
up to
here.
the
He said
task.
he is not qualified to lead.
Right.
And
Yes.
this and that.
You
So
want to talk
that's
about that?
campaign, Mr.
Well,
Spencer
we
Carr.
will
Welcome
sell
to
our
America and
candidate.
welcome
Now
to
we
Grand
ready
United
to
Politics. Thank you
we
very
ready
much.
to sell either poor. We ready to sell either poor. We were only trying to let Virginia know about Gilman and his chapter. But now we want to tell Virginia why either poor is the best candidate in this race.
Yeah, so I mean, that's it. We're not. Yeah, Mr. Freeman, go ahead. Use your 1 minute.
1 minute. We try to sell our candidate to the people. He said 1 minute, my man. But thank you, Prince. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I want to say a gigantic kudos to your guests. The guys, they elucidated very well, and I'm pleased. But just to, Prince, just to supplement what your guests have been saying tonight, I want to emphasize a couple of traits that Bana Idepoa has when it comes to leadership. I want to emphasize on that end because the guys have said a lot of good things. So when it comes to leadership, Prince, there is something you have to look at in a leader. You can see in a person to know that the person is a leader. One is the ability to mobilize people and delegate responsibilities to the people, and for the people to implement what you delegate to them. That's something that Idepoa has done successfully. Bro, let me emphasize on that more. You see, I mean, I'm not even talking about the union, right? But I'm talking about her campaign. Let's take our campaign team, for example. You have different professionals from different backgrounds. Friends, when we're having a high-level meeting, I mean, you have the top, the board members say the cream of Grand United County. They were able to bring these people together, to bring their ideas to bear. And the thing about her is, when you disagree with Idepoa, she accepts it. That's a leader. That's show of leadership. If a leader cannot take criticism and disagreement, it becomes a problem. So that's something that we see in Idepoa. I already emphasized on one thing. You have a guy who wants to be the national president of Grand United Association in the Americas, but the guy is now taking people to court, for example. So it means that the guy cannot take criticism. Mana Idepoa, they have said the worst thing about this lady. And when you say the worst thing about her, then the woman will take her phone and call you. That's leadership. Prince, if you have people that don't agree with Idepoa before, that used to vilify and disparage and talk down to her, and she reached out to these people, and now as we speak, these people are campaigning for her. Number one, the great Gibson Jerry is now on Idepoa's side. This is somebody who should be on the internet and criticizing that lady. You have the great Bobby Tudor now supporting Idepoa. You have the great McCarthy Levi now supporting Idepoa. I can go on. These are people that were criticizing you before, but you were able to convince them. That show of leadership, and that's what you want in your leader. Prince, let me portray the efforts of these great people on your show tonight. Prince, you see, in our community or in Liberia as a whole, one of the major problems we face in the country is the lack of transparency. The leaders are not transparent, so as a consequence, the resources of the country is being put somewhere that the people don't see no result. So you have a country that is 178 years old and no development because no transparency. So the people resources are spent wrongly. So but right now you have a lady who is transparent, who set up a system, who put a system in place. now that you know where your resources are going. That's show a leadership. Prince, that what the United States, you know why it's working? It's because it has a system in place. When you go against the system will knock you out. That's what it means to have a leader. And that's what we need in Grand Junction County, and that's what we need in Liberia. And that's what the woman is giving to us. Friend, another thing, I can give you an encyclopedic list tonight, but I just want to, because this is campaign time, we want to sell the woman to the people. So when they go to the ballot box, so they can be laser focused and not think about giving, because giving has already been decimated tonight, you know. So the woman is also trustworthy. That's something you need. That's a leadership trait. If you can trust somebody, Prince, when I can't tell you what kind of area, but when I went to the academy, one thing the people drill in me is called integrity. When you don't have that thing, it becomes a problem because you have to be trusted. People have to be able to trust you to give their resources to you. You have an organization that was in the deficit. Zero. You'll never have money. And this woman, and we're not talking about $10, we're not talking about $5, we're not talking about, they won't talk your organization from $25,000 deficit. Friends, that's leadership. So anybody out there who wants to think about giving, guess what? You are not a patriot. Because a patriot is the person who loves his country or where he or she is from. And that's what the patriotism for our people, because we have a patriotic leader. The woman is making the sacrifice for people. Right now, granted, the truck of 44 container is on the way to our people in Grand Junction County. Who doesn't love that people and will do that?
Okay, Mr.
Freeman,
thank you very much.
I want to say thank you so much for giving me the time.
We brought you for 2 minutes, but you're going 5 minutes now. So thank you, Mr.
Who was the person that was speaking though?
That is voice of Sano in the diaspora. Thanks, Saya, for that.
I don't know that person.
Oh, okay.
You know him.
You know him.
His name is Madison Freeman.
So,
he got free when he went to Freetown.
So what he was saying?
Thank you. I'll come back on the show. Thank you.
Yeah, Prince. So we were just trying to show Gaiman to the people, the men that they want to vote, the people that want to vote for Gaiman. We just wanted to expose him so they can know how he is in his own chapter. But we about to sell our candidate. So if you get all the time,
before you go there, I'll give you the time. Before you go there, I want to ask Mr. Collins. He been around. He no registration. He had Richard Bablo, who was a membership guy back then in Arizona. And we just placed a call to Gilman's vice presidential candidate, Madam Dennis, concerning the list that was sent from Michigan. There are only 10 people on the list. Your man Junior Hammond, your name is not on our list. He's their board chair. And a lot of people's names are not on our list. Can you speak to that, Mr. Collins?
Yeah.
A list that went, and then the vice presidential, interim vice president name is now on it with a lot of people's name extracted from the list. Only 10 people. That's chapter, to make that chapter, they had to be 15.
I'll listen to her. I think it's a concern here. You know, we want to make sure that everybody that are willing to go to the convention, and not only the convention, we got to register Grenadians, because if anything happens to anybody in your chapter, the national and the other chapters will come to the aid of that person if the person is a registered member of the Grenadian Association. So if you disenfranchise your own members and something happened to one of them tomorrow, you got yourself to blame. And she expressed that they were not contacted. Whether they come into the convention or not, whether they come in to vote or not, they should be able to register them. And she named prominent people from the chapter. I mean, she even named my cousin, and, John Lugian. I mean, he's a permanent guy, not only in the Grand Junction community, but in the Liberian community. You got his brothers and you got other people down there. They got Mr. Tao, who got some of his children down there. They got a lot of Grand Junctions. Whether they decide to come to the convention or not, they should be registered. So the essence of registering people is not only based on who's going to vote. The list that you see down there, I think about 98% of the people are there are the family members. I know all of them with the exception of Madam Whitty and her husband. All the other rest there are either Gilmore brother or Gilmore cousin or Gilmore auntie. AC that Gilmore auntie and her husband. I mean, I don't have anything against them, but you should register all Grenadians. So the vice president has a point, and I think the national administration together with the board, because right now, if either gets involved, even though they said they officially complaining or they have complained, if she gets involved, people will say because she's running, but I think the board should also get involved and help Grenadians that are in Michigan to be registered. They should give them extra time. Those that are there that will pay to the national, they should register them. They don't have to go to the convention. But I don't think it's fair for Gilmore to do that. Everybody here emphasizes, I don't even want to go through it. No sound leader will want to disenfranchise the members. No sound leader will, even black people, that help to establish a chapter. I don't even know how Mr. Yubote accepted the registration of this chapter when they never even met the requirement. I said that before and I'm saying it again. Because you should have the listing of all the officials submitted to the board. Not only the $300 that they're going to pay, but they should have the official. I see them calling themselves, interim administration. That means they never even had elections. I mean, acting president, acting vice president. What do you mean by that? You got to have an election, have an elected official for the board and the national, and the chapter. Submit the names of your official. They never say you should send people that are acting. So the idea that they even register the chapter, is a problem. And that's why you need leadership like what Madam Paul has, so that we can reform this organization for the betterment of all of us. It's a problem. We don't want to create those problems. Let them solve it before we get to Kentucky. I have a very, very serious problem. I think all Grenadians should have a problem with chapter presidents that are trying to disenfranchise people who are going to the convention or getting registered.
Okay. Thank you very much, and welcome, Mr. Gibson, Jeru. Thank you very much. Once you're in the state, because the registration is just not for voting purpose. It is there to know the members of your state. So when you got almost 30 members in the state and you just send 10 list names, it's not fair to the other people. The other people need to reach out to the national administration as soon as possible so they can have the name. Because the roster will go. How many grand people here in this year? You got 1,500 people, 2,000. These are all the 1,200 people names I would know now. Not all of them coming here. It's not all of them going to come here to come and vote or that come to this year conference, but we know that they are registered members of the organization. So I think there's a need there's a need, and that need should be expressed. That concern, should be looked into immediately. There is no need to suppress anyone vote, please. Mr. Gibson, Jeru, welcome.
Yes, thank you. First of all, let me just say that I have already suggested and advised the president to allow these people in Michigan who were left out by their chapter president to register under the national.
Please bring me by now.
When you create a
malaise, you can't 1 minute. You can't do that on the show, man.
No, I just want to get something.
All right, go ahead, Gibson.
Oh, when you create a malaise and you cause what we call in law malevolence, the people are not responsible for. They are not obligated to live to your deadline. So the malevolence was created by the chapter president. That means the chapter president put them in a situation that they cannot bear. They did not receive enough notice. The chapter did not give them enough notice, and they pick few people who they believe that they can vote for them and send their name forward. So the national has to rescue them. The national cannot leave them on the side. So the national can incorporate them into a register there under the national as if they did not have a chapter. And I will advise the president to take that decision. We cannot have a situation where people will register people because you think they're not going to vote for you or they're going to vote for you. It's not just fair. So we should make effort in our chapter. Michigan chapter don't even have a lot of people. And then you went and left some people out. Just because you feel like they don't share your ideology, they may not support you. So when you send their name forward, you are sending people who will vote for your opponent. So you left them out. In this case, it's a malaise and it's a creation of a malevolence, and so the president can act on that. Even though we don't have a malevolence in our constitution, but our constitution is amenable to the state the state constitution. And under the Commonwealth Constitution, malevolence is a creation of a situation by someone to put them in a bad situation. Okay, so it is allowed. So the president, I will advise the president to allow them to register. Whether they will vote for the president, whether they will not vote for Madam Poit, let them be registered and let them be enfranchised. Because that's the best way we can proceed. It's different from Minnesota. Minnesota, everybody had the time, the message was across, the people engaged, the people, they register, and they send their list. But in this case, I think it's a malevolence that was created by the chapter leadership on a proclival situation, like they don't think that the people will vote for them. And so they're not registered. Then who you know will vote for you? I can pretend to be you that I will not vote for you and go there and vote for you. Or I can pretend I will vote for you and I go there and vote for a different person. So that's why we don't, and I like what Mr. Collins said, we cannot disenfranchise these people. And I hope the people who wants to write the president, and if I participate in that meeting, my first suggestion to the president is register them. Register them. The national administration holds the deadline for the submission of names. But if this situation is a malevolent situation, then the president can give that exception to them. Not because they know, she don't know whether they're going to vote for her. She don't know. There may be people who will vote for the different people.
Let's hear from 1 minute. That Jerome is on the line. Jerome got whatever. Give you 1 minute, please. Go ahead.
Thank you, Press. Thank you very much. I got two things to talk about that I'll be done. The first one, I think James voted. He not to go for us because Otero submit a channel list. He should have asked for a meeting minutes. He should have asked for a meeting minute before you take the money to register him as a chapter. That's where everything came from. That the mistake Mr. Gbote made. Now, the main thing I'm calling tonight, Prince, because I told you before, but I didn't forget to talk about it tonight. I just want to speak to all my Nigerians that are going for the convention. You can even call your I will tell you, after May 7th, if you don't get real ID, you can even get your passport, you'll not travel. So, everybody coming for the convention, please visit the DMV to make sure your ID is get. Or you right now, if you can travel.
Oh yeah.
No, go to the airport and get in acting with the people. They'll not let you on the flight. So the best thing you can do now is to visit your DMV to make sure your ID get. If you can use it to fly. If not, they can get another one. You just tell one of your
making me scared. Me look at my ID.
Yes. Yeah, if real ID, you have to get real ID.
After May 7th, you cannot fly to fly without real ID. You can get your passport, whatever. Do not let you fly. You can show it with your passport. If you're not getting it, you can't fly.
Yeah.
The real ID, the one with the star, and that the real ID.
Yeah, but Prince, I put a DMV. Then I say, yeah.
Yeah, I know. The real ID, you go there, they give you the one with the star on it, that the real ID. That's true. Because here, in Kentucky, they've been sending text messages and things that are telling people to the job and things to get real ID. So yeah, so get your real ID or they will not put you on the flight.
You have fly. I'm taking your please. I know we all can look out for each other. We won't go and have fun. We don't want to because I got stuck on the airport. No.
So go to your DMV, and get your real ID. I hope my sister Mercy got to get her real ID. But if you don't have it, Mercy got to go to the DMV and get your real ID. Let me put Gissing Jeru down here and put Mercy right in your place. Good job. And put all the men that come down. Only the president will be up there.
Thank you for the show. That's all I'm calling for.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Get your real ID. Get your real ID. That's a good one there. Get your real ID. So get your real ID, Gibson Jeru. Is go to the DMV and get your real ID. I think it will ask you for your passport, 2 letters because
I have my ID. I have my ID.
Yeah. So now
Prince, I want to send you
for the next 20 minutes.
I want to send you the Black Law Dictionary definition of malevolence. And it is very important because we are discussing these things and people don't know that these things
when they file a complaint to the national or the board, then you can go there with your dictionary, Marvel villain or villain. But to net, let me get it through the last 20 minutes.
Okay, I beg you, give me 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds. Say I'm not sending it to you. Give me 30 seconds. Malevolence legal definition means
the other day, you some kind of war here. Everybody was going looking for a dictionary. You want to put a print dictionary on the issue, then it can't happen.
Malevolence means an evil intent. It also means spite, ill will against an individual. So those are that's a legal definition. Wanton disregard to someone's feeling. So that's the legal definition of malevolence. If the leadership,
we got to get from that man too. Now, if he actually call, we don't know like one side of the story, so we got to start.
Well, when the leader complained, the administration will launch an investigation and they will show us their proof of information.
Gimo can come here with some kind of paper and say, I've been telling the people to come. These are the meanings.
Well, the investigation will prove them right or wrong.
Well, the
administration is now on an obligation. The administration is now on an obligation to take edit from Gilman. The administration control the registration of membership, and the membership. If there's a malevolence, the administration can say, because of this thing, we are taking the decision. Let them register on the national, and because they don't know whether they will vote for Edith or they will vote for Gilman, we don't know. We could be registering so Gilman people. So we don't know who's going to register.
Yeah, better to get a due process to now, Gibson.
Find out due process. So
when they send a complaint now, then the national will go in and find out and all these allegations and things that the lady said that they booted somebody out of the chat room because they got different view and that they are using a prayer line, all the kind of stuff. And when they are using a prayer line, they can boot you out of there once you're not.
So they want to go all inside that.
That's what the lady just said on the show. I can crop it up and show you here.
Once you disagree, they kick you out of the line.
So let me get you the last 20.
Disagree, then it's not for you.
Let me get it to you so you can promote your in it. You tell us all the reason one at a time. 2 minutes.
Let me. Anyway, our lady will always be the first. So
Quiet, press so quiet. That
I can play your video, man.
No, don't play. Let's talk about Edith. And, and I just want to give my experience about her. When I first met her, 2010, somebody recommended that Edith has been working with a Hutu Apollo group. So I did my own research, and I found out that she had passion for leadership. She had passion for, when I hear people say she don't put people together, I'm astonished. Because when we brought her in, at that time we were putting our campaign together. We had Marco Gilmore, We have the late Tapla Como and all these people. We have people that were listed, and that who have used to be vice president. But just from the onset, our attention was drawn to her because of the way and manner. Even our own group, she was like the mother. She was the only lady at the time that we had. So all that we have done, people say, oh, probably we did this, we did that. Gibson will bear me all here. We had differences with Gibson Jeru, but Ida were always acting as a neutral person, even though she was part of the administration, just to make sure that she hears from both sides and she'll bring people together. So I just want to say here, I want to appeal to people out there. If you want the best for Grand Leader Association, always make sure you advocate for good leadership, because it helps you. We cannot have Grand Leader Association and be doing try and error. The person got to have experience. The person got to have records of doing well. It's not time for us to find somebody and say, let's try the person here. Maybe they will do this. We are seeing, and vividly what Ida has done in the past 2 years, plus the 4 years that she's there. She got energy. To be frank, I always told people when I hit my 10th year as national president, I was already tired. For her to serve as vice president for 4 years, work with James Dubote as if she were probably in the administration, and for her to get in and start carrying on all these reforms, some of the things that we never did. I mean, I feel very proud about the account system that she has set up. That has been the problem in this organization. So I just want to appeal to people, anybody that want the best for Grand Leader. You got differences with Ida, but just because you love your county and you love your people, you need to encourage people to vote for her so that she can be able to continue to carry on the good work that she's doing. I felt very, very proud of Mr. Ase Yah today, because he's somebody that loves Grand Leader. People, I mean, his wife is related to the Weeks, the family down there. They got relationship with them. But he was looking at the bigger picture and he stressed unity. That's what good leaders do. I hear people talking about the other people that endorse on that side. We're not going to, I mean, that what they want. If that's what they're choosing to do, then to me, personally, they really don't love this organization that they serve. Because when you love Grand Leader Association, you want good leaders. You want people to be able to uphold your legacy. I can sit down here and just vote for anybody for my alma mater, and I wanted to make progress. I just bring anybody in and expect to see better results. No, I'm not going to do it. I will want the best for it all the time so that I can feel proud when I go out there to tell people, Grand Leader Association is better because of the kind of leadership that they put on. And finally, let me just say this. I was telling people on the last show when I became president and I started getting invitation from Ambassador Solonte that Madam Ellen Johnson Telly was coming, and she had guests. They wanted to meet leaders here. And Grand Leader Association was listed. When we went there, I thought I was just going to meet the president from Liberia. She brought along with her the U.S. ambassador to Liberia. She brought the Secretary of State for African Affairs. They had 9 Secret Service persons there. I carried General Moses right there. He went with me on my delegation. So he a witness to what I'm saying here. That place was packed, was sitting down, and they're asking you questions. Or they introduce you, this is Grand Leader President. You interact with these people. So let's look at the 2 candidates. Let's look at the team. Who you want to be in that room to sit down and have a discussion with those people. So this is no joke. So when I see people come here, they say we're endorsing the people because he didn't get stuff in the DNA, as if to say the doctors here, they're checking people's DNA. It's just appalling. If you love Grand Leader Association, please seek the best leaders. Now, it is even after her, always look for good leadership for the organization, because we want to always feel proud of this organization. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Sorry. Well spoken.
I go to our sister now.
Okay, so what's about either poor? Either poor. When you talk about peace, when I see, that's why today, for me, when I read former President Fred Guillaume, I love Fred Guillaume very much. He knows that I love him. When I saw his post, I was just, it didn't go down well for me. Because when you talk about peace, it's either poor. Either poor, I can remember our Sapo community was divided for 7 unbroken years. Either poor put a team together, and through her effort, our community got united. She brought peace to our community. That's the woman we're talking about. Even people, when I took over, that didn't want to be part of us. When we're going somewhere, we call them. I would say, but what are you doing? You say, but we all are the same people. We are all the same people. So this is a woman of peace. She doesn't keep malice. You can say all the things about her. But when it comes to Grand Gila County, she put Grand Gila above herself. That's the kind of leader you are looking for. She always want to unite people. Okay? She always want unity. She go across the aisle, the one we say across the aisle, people that don't like her. Many of us that even support her, we say, oh, Madam President, you far, the person, she said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is Grand Gila Association. Grand Gileans, we are all Grand Gileans. So if you love the organization, like the former president said, Idepua is your girl. And she has a vice president. I don't just say that he's now parked in a garage. Let me talk about Ase Nyawure tonight. He's now parked in a garage. He worked very hard. He worked alongside with his president. And they implement, they talk, and they do things together. And he is one of the best hard-working vice president ever that anybody would want to have in the administration. So look at the team. Look at the team. Look at the SG, Christopher Queer. Look at the Yento Breeze, the treasure. That when she gives report, there's nobody to question it because everything is transparent. Their team was built on peace, unity, and transparency, and they are proving over the years, for the last 2 years, that they have been there. I'm proud that nobody said, oh, Idepo collected money and she ate it. I'm proud that people say, oh, money is sitting in the account. At least people know that the money is in the account, that it has not been leveraged, that it has not been misused, that is there for the internal purpose. I am proud that we are going to Kentucky, that Kentucky is not struggling for money, that there is money sitting there to form the convention. We are appealing to Gregorians tonight. Our people, we always want to, when something is not broken, why do you want to repair it? That's the question. When it's not spoiled, why you want to fix it? You only want to fix things in your house when it's spoiled. But you have a leadership that empower, that doing everything to the best of their ability to bring the union back to where it belongs. So why you want to replace them with somebody that you have not even seen what they have done before? Or because they say I got $1 million sitting now in the account, how did they acquire the $1 million? You don't even have an idea, but you have a woman that proved to you. I was a vice president for 4 years. I worked alongside with a man that successfully brought the organization to the level and left it there, and I worked along with him. And now she has proven herself that for the past 2 years, she has proven herself to Gregorians that she can stand the tax and she can do everything in her power, she and her administration, to put Grand Gila Association on the top where it belongs all along. Grand Gila County was one of the best county that people used to imitate. Everybody wants to be the Grand Gila Association because when they go to convention, they raise a lot of money. Today, Grand Gila Association was backward, but when Ida Poor took over, 2023, she changed the dynamics. And today, people are on board. Everybody is excited once again, want to go for convention. Before then, people say, oh, me, I don't even want to go for convention because we don't even know what they're doing with the money. Nobody can say that now. It's better for the money to be sitting out in the bank that we can go to the account and we can see the money than for us to say we don't even, because everything that can break organization, the number one thing is financial. If you can't get account of your finances, so that's the number one thing that break every organization down. So if you have a leadership that in power that don't have that problem, you better be thankful to God. So I want to say thank you to the poor Yahweh team for the last 2 years. We are here to support you, to hold your hands, to carry you to the finishing line. My brother Peter Dixie will say, this is a movie train. You better get on. Get on the train, because if you don't get on, you will be left behind. It is not too late for you to board the train. We are calling on great genius to give the poor young team the last 2 more years so they can complete what they have started. Thank you, Prince. And we are here to listen to any question they may have.
Thank you very much, Madam. Let me go to Mr. Peter Darcy.
Well, I'm smiling tonight. The reason I'm smiling, because I can hear the voice of my family. A couple of days ago, the campaign manager for President Gilmore, Uriah Song, stated something about the problem we are having in Minnesota. He said, "Oh, Peter, but man, don't talk anything because you don't have no brothers and sisters over there." Mr. Uriah Song, let's get this clear to the campaign manager before I talk about the president. Grangidians are one family. When there's fire burning your beard, all Grangidians pull to that place to make sure. So we see ourselves as one. I strongly remember in the past when President Doe used to come to our house in Claratown, in Short Trasso in Texas, to come to my father. Here I come today, sitting on the hot seat talking about Grangidian. What's a beautiful thing. That's history. Look, Grangidian, I want us to make no mistake. As you can see tonight, the legacy of a female, a young lady, your own daughter that served this community for more than 20 years, that will have a sleepless night, all in the name of this organization, the Grangidian Association of America. She believes in the association so much, and she has the passion for her people. Make no mistake, President Poor is the way. The Bible says there's a way. President Poor is the way. As you can see, the union is growing. Today, we are anxious to be a part of this moving train. All because the president has demonstrated accountability. She has made it known to Grangidians that she can be trusted. Everywhere she goes, she smiles. Whatever she do, she seeks advices from her administration before taking action. But tonight, I want Grangidians to know those money that are kept in the bank is for a good reason. The reason being, when the president take up a project, she want to make sure she don't want to be like some other presidents that will leave some job undone. The train is moving forward, Grangidians. It's not too late. And I want Grangidians from every part of the world to see a reason to really elect this administration. I'm not going to take much of your time, but I want to speak about Gilmore a little bit tonight. As you can see tonight, our dear brother Gilmore, I don't even know how he's managing his real estate business with a temperament like this, on how his renters are renting for him, or how he's selling these houses with such an attitude. A few weeks ago, he was on the show. Escaping from the show, he cannot address himself. We need a leader like President Poor. A woman that will sit on a hot seat and answer questions for the little girl in Grangidia. because we know we are building leaders, not only for our county, but high office in the Republic of Liberia. That is why this president surrounded herself with great people. As you can see, our former president, Mr. Collins, when he was leaving, turning over his term to Fred, he left $82,000, $80,000 plus to another administration. It was not done by only him. It was done alongside with his vice president, which I'm proud of to be on that ticket tonight. Grangidians, this is an opportunity for us to not go back. This is an opportunity for us to move forward. Once again, please find it in your heart and in your neighbors. Speak to somebody that the trend is moving forward. The campaign is moving forward. I want to say a big thank you to Prince Double. You are doing excellent. At least you are reaching to our people back home and in America. Madam President, tonight I want to speak to you before I leave the show. Because you are an iron, a rock that never fails. That is why you have people like Fred Goyer coming after you. You have our dear brother Augustine May coming after you. You have James Gibote coming after you. You have Levi Khan coming after you. You have as far as JJ Dennis and the rest. And Daniel Pye. Why are all the elephants coming against you? If you are doing something good, you will have hate. I want you to stay focused, Madam President. The leadership of the great organization rests in your hands. And going to Kentucky, let it be known the election will be peaceful.
Yep.
So if you are out there, you have heard that there will be chaos. As our brother Ransom said, we will check that thing. No. Our days in 1990 war, we have fought this war, it's over. We would not fight in Kentucky as a Grangidian. Let's make it known. We are going there and exercise our right to vote, to elect the next president. And the next president will be who? Madam Pua. On that day, that young girl will be on the stage and say, God, I'm so grateful that my people are coming back together. The people from GGAD, we are together. We are one. Let the past be the past. I'm calling on Fred. Let the past be the past. I'm calling on James. Let the past be the past. And the rest of you. I want to say a big thank you to all of you.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
VK.
My
VK,
mic,
yeah, go ahead.
My mic was muted. Thank you. I think my colleagues on the show, they spoke excellently. First of all, I want to thank President Collins for being on the show. When a leader comes to support somebody who worked for him, it shows that that person have done an excellent job and they are proud of them. I think he said it here tonight. Look, when Edith took over in Iowa, we were there and we saw what happened there. The union was in chaos. It was chaotic. There was a lot of things going on, and Edith made it her duty. She told herself that she was going to bring this union back. She was going to straighten things up, and she was going to make people want to be part of GGA again. Madam Pua got on this journey with her team, and they have worked tirelessly to do this job. I think one of the first things that Edith did was she cut out corruption and malfeasance. I think a lot of people, when you hear them have the problem with Edith, is because maybe during that reign they didn't know what to do. But what Edith and her team did was they brought best financial practices to GGAA that we all can be proud of today. Madam Edith Pua have worked to bridge the gap. Right now in GGA going to Kentucky, there will be 20 chapters that will be in Kentucky. That is something that you can say that GGA is growing. Okay. Most recently, Madam Pua have sent 44 containers with different supplies to help the people of Grand Jida County. Okay. The nursing school of Grand Jida County, Madam Pua and her team was able to help reopen that school. And what does that do, you ask me? That makes sure that the next generation of healthcare professionals that will help the people of Grand Jida They will be trained. That's foresightedness. The lady have done a great job bridging the gap, bringing people together, bringing professionals around her. One thing I would say about Madame Poa, there's a leader that listens. Look, the woman, if you disagree with her, she listens. Okay, she takes things in stride. She makes decisions not based on some level of feeble emotions, but she makes decisions based on what the right information is, and that's what you look for in a good leader. Madam Poa have brought GGA to the point where people are excited again to go to conventions. People are excited. The excitement around the Kentucky convention is wild, and that is because people are beginning to see what GGA is. In Kentucky, GGA at 50 will be led by Edith Poir. And at 50, Edith Poir is bringing a new dimension to an organization that needed that spark. I think Madame Poir has proven herself beyond all reasonable doubt that she's a wonderful leader. GGA has the best financial system right now. GGA has money in a bank account that nobody is questioning, and the board is not running after people for it. GGA accounts are secure. And look, when people say the money is in a bank account, anybody comes on your show, Prince, and say the money is in the bank account, it's a testament to what Edith is doing. Nobody is saying Edith writing checks and she's sending checks to herself. She's writing checks to her vice president, or she's writing checks to one of her advisors. Okay? GGA money is secure. It's being used for the right purposes. It's being used to uplift Grangeans at home and abroad. The woman has done the work. She's working hard to bring this union together, to reach out to every Grangean in the United States and beyond. That's the job of a good leader. That's the job of a leader who cares about people. That's the job of a leader who shares a passion for her people. Everywhere Grangeans are having something, Edith Poir is there. She has committed her time. She has committed herself. I have never seen somebody work so tirelessly for her people. This woman has worked tirelessly for GGA. And I'm telling you, Prince, when you see Madame Poir doing the work that she's doing, with the team that she has assembled around her, GGAA is on the trajectory to be one of the greatest organizations, or one of the greatest librarian organizations in the United States. And it's thanks to a woman who has a vision and who is executing that vision thoroughly. So I want to thank you today. I want to thank our Grangeans. And look, we'll go to Kentucky. The other day on the show, when our opponents came here, when you asked them to open the line, they said, no, when I want to take no call, nobody will come on the show. But when we are on the line, we want people to come because we are willing to listen to other views. Dissenting views is also okay. It shows a stark contrast on who we are and who they are, and it shows a stark contrast on how either will lead and how they will lead. When they get to power, they will not listen to no opposing views. When we are there, it's good to listen to your opponents. And guess what? I think Jawia said one time, he said, the person are talking nonsense. Take the no from there, take the sense, and you know, so it's the same thing. Okay, you can listen to people. You don't have to agree with everything they say, but you can listen to them. And some things they say might be something that you'll be able to take away from it. So
let's listen to Jeruna. But let me tell you, gentlemen, next time when we say 8 o'clock, you come 8 o'clock, please. Go ahead, Gibson.
Sorry about that, Prince.
I will quote one of Africa's greatest prime minister. His name is Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere. That man says something. Quote. He said, the legacy of a person, of a leader, is made good by the person who succeeds you. It is something that all leaders in Grand Jury Association, past leaders, should think about. Before you call somebody your leader, you ask yourself, is this person my leader? Can this person represent me? Am I going to be proud of this person? If all the questions you ask yourself, if your answer is yes, then consider them your leader. One of my disappointment in life is, I'll tell you this. As a journalist, I went to, and this is just something, I went to this one of the speakers. I don't want to call his name. He's one of our own. He called me and said, Gibson, I want you to be my press attaché. And I gave him the conditions of what a good press attaché would be like, what he needs to be done, what equipment he need to put in place. And because he was not prepared to do that, he decided to let me, off the hook, never called me back, and took one of my beginning. So the beginning, they would tell the Peking something, the Peking would come to me and ask me to help him, and I help him, then he go and help them. The rep press release, then they come to me and say, Chi, I beg you, man, please publish our cheaper press release. Then I publish it. So I call him one time, I say, you don't want me to fix your office, but you take someone who come to me every day for me to show them what to do. You cannot be calling me chief, bossman, learning from me. I'm teaching you new things. And at the same time, I turn around and say, you're my leader. Or somebody who I call leader, for example, I call Mr. Collins a leader in our community. And somebody who look up to me for ideas, then Mr. Collins pop at me and say that I'm not a leader there. We got to be careful. If we're not, I told you I'm not going to run campaign anymore. What I'm doing, I'm not running campaign.
I don't want to see when you're running campaign.
I don't want to run campaign at all. I've desisted from running campaign. But let's be careful, Nigerians, who we take to be our head. The story Mr. Collins just explained tonight even brought more fear in me. A president, the Liberian ambassador to America, called the president of the Graduate Association and say the president of Liberia wants to meet with you. And all you're thinking is you're going to meet Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf alone, sitting there with security people. That one you can play traffic, you can say anything you want to say. But you go low, you see the other person. You go low, you see the other person. Go low. Dignitaries sitting down. And the Ice Cube, president of Graduate Association. Tell us a little bit about your organization and where you are headed.
I was just joining Crown when Inez not there.
My people, let's be careful.
That's so
My
true.
old man, you hear me today. Somebody come to you and tell you, say, they will give you insurance. That lie. They're not giving you no insurance. Somebody tell you, say they're rich, they will make you millionaire. They're not getting no millionaire. They're not millionaire, they can't make you millionaire.
Family gotta be millionaire first.
Be careful, oh man, my brother, my sister. Before you cast your vote, ask yourself. I'm not campaigning, but if I read a campaign, I will tell you.
Marshall Gatto, Gibson Jeru, thank you very much. You're not campaigning, but I don't know when you're going to start. But Marshall Gatto, they say we've been here 3 hours, 17 minutes. I told you 2 hours, now go extra 1 hour.
Well, I think they all spoke well. Everything was said perfectly. I'm going to quote my all-time president, Mr. Collins. I can never forget this president. He can do wrong, even though sometimes I will come for him too, but he can never do wrong. So he said something like Gibson was just rightfully, saying they put people in a room with dignitary. And I'm here. I don't even have a word. Let me tell you, there are certain people you stay in front of them. Phobia comes upon you immediately. What are you going to say?
Mm-hmm.
So this association not supposed to be take for play or joke. Okay, like him now. He was there. He was ready for it. He's ready at all time. But someone bossing back behind closed door. What can we stand in front of these people and say? So the association is not about, oh yeah, we are not educated, and we don't want here. No, girl, we in this country, free education. You take student loan, you can, go to school. So it should not be limited to, they say you get high school diploma, that's fine. Even if your vice president get high school diploma, you must get the at least college degree. If you the president get a college degree, high school diploma, let your vice president, because one person can always represent and will represent all of us. So we can do better than this. We've seen people who aren't qualified. We're not even closer to being qualified, but we want to give them the organization and tarnish it. And then tomorrow they say Grand Jury Association president meeting some dignitary groups, and then it's on a recording, and then we all bang our head down because our leaders are not speaking nothing good. Just get in and speak around, and we move from there. I yield back tonight. All I can tell all Grangidians, this is America. We all do have our insurance. That insurance topic, like 419, that scam. Do not vote for insurance policy. Say no to Mr. Insurance and vote for Ilepua for better Grangidia and for development of Grangidia Association within Americas. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Gibson Jeru, thank you. VK, thank you. Madam President Clark, thank you. Peter Darcy, thank you. Mr. Collins, former President Akpa Prezo, thank you very much for tuning in here tonight.
I'm starting my campaign next month, guys.
20 minutes on the show tonight. So everybody, thanks for coming and thanks for tuning in. Next time we're going to have.
Thank you very much, Prince. Thank you very much for
us. Yeah, there's a debate. There's a debate that is scheduled for Sunday. It's going to be the vice presidential debate. It's going to be Isaac Nginawe versus Josephine Slew, and then the treasurer is going to do their own. Yonto Breeze versus Achi Mao. Is that the Mao Society will be here with Breeze. So on Sunday, that's the 20th on Sunday.
I hope you're
get ready, put your questions together, and come in for.
Easy man, like Gibson Jerusalem.
Thank you, Prince. Thanks for having us on the show. Very great show tonight, and thanks to the rest of our panelists and my colleagues from Team Port. We had a very good program. It was wonderful.
Yeah, so get ready for that.
Thank you.
Granchile Association in America. National President, Madam Vice President, I say you know it. National Jelly, it's a quick J. I am on the Felemina big man, Mami Dorepia,
right, my people. You're good night. Tomorrow and Ellen Torre, I don't know if you want to come on tomorrow with Vivian. Tomorrow is kind of partly free. Give me a call and we can talk it. But not tonight. You're coming tonight. You're not going to get me. I'm going straight there and go lay down and go sleep.